Chapter 181. Long Yu and Lu Yuan worked together and finally managed to send Long Ji flying. Even without Lu Yuan, Long Yu would have been able to defeat Long Ji in the end, but it would not have been so easy. Kill him. The thought appeared in Long Yu and Lu Yuan's minds at almost the same time. However, at that moment, an even more ferocious force of the Blood Dragon territory descended from the sky, followed by a Blood Dragon real spirit with an even stronger murderous intent. Dot! Long Yu's expression changed. Without any time to think, he immediately grabbed Lu Yuan and extended the lunar wings on his back. At that instant, Long Yu activated the lunar wings and burst forth with extreme speed. The aura of the Blood Dragon real spirit was too strong. It was definitely released by an expert at LV6 True Spirit Realm. With such an expert blocking their way, it was impossible for Long Yu and Lu Yuan to kill Long Ji. If they continued to charge forward, they would only lose their lives. Luckily, Long Yu and the lunar wings were compatible with Tian Qi, so their speed was extremely terrifying. Even an expert at LV6 True Spirit Realm could not catch up with them in a short time. In the blink of an eye, Long Yu and Lu Yuan turned into a streak of black light. They flashed to the side and returned to the entrance of the Lu clan's mansion. Long Yu raised his head and saw two familiar figures behind the Blood Dragon real spirit. It's the Imperial Princess and the golden-armored young man we met in the forest. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. He looked over and saw Long Ji lying on the ground in a sorry state. In front of him was the Blood Dragon real spirit released by the golden-armored young man. It was this Blood Dragon true spirit that forced Long Yu and Lu Yuan, who wanted to kill Long Ji, to retreat. Behind Long Ji's battered figure were two figures that looked very noble at first glance. One of them was a young lady in a snow-white silk robe with a beautiful crown on her head. She wore a faint sweet smile on her face. She was the princess of the Chu clan. The other person was a young man in golden armor. He was also a member of the Dragon clan. Long Yu had seen this golden-armored young man before in the royal ancient forest. At that time, he felt that he was unfathomable, but he did not expect that he had reached the 6th rank of the true spirit realm. It's the eldest son of the Long family, the captain of the princess's bodyguards, Long Su. It really is Long Su. I didn't expect this Major General Long Ji to be so useless. He was actually injured by a brat at the 3rd level of the true spirit secret realm. He only survived because of Long Su. Isn't that LV3 true spirit realm kid from the Long family? Today's matter can be said to be the chaos of the Long family. Long Yu has long been expelled from the Long family. If you say that he is a member of the Long family, isn't that inappropriate? The surrounding onlookers immediately began to discuss, but they did not dare to be too high profile. After all, the Imperial Princess was right there, the eldest young master of the Long family, the captain of the princess's bodyguards, Long Su. Long Yu squinted his eyes and looked at the golden-armored young man. He finally knew his name. The golden-armored young man, Long Su, was not much older than Long Yu. It was unexpected that he had reached the 6th rank of the true spirit secret realm. What was his ranking among the top 9 young experts of the Tang Empire? Mo Feng Ming from the Xiang family, now that I think about it, should be at the 6th rank of the true spirit secret realm. He is ranked 3rd among the top 9 young experts. Long Su's aura is stronger than Mo Feng Ming's, so he should be ranked 2nd. Long Yu quickly calculated Long Su's strength. The current him was definitely no match for Long Su. Lu Yuan calmed down. Her beautiful figure fluttered as she quickly maintained a certain distance from Long Yu. Although Long Yu had just saved her, she was not very grateful. The main thing was that she had missed the chance to kill Long Ji. Even if she killed Long Ji, she could only escape from the Tang Empire and become a fugitive. But she wanted to avenge Xen Yu no matter what. Her head of white hair fluttered in the night, and the gentle breeze tugged at the heartstrings of many people. Her icy cold gaze made people feel as though they had fallen into an ice cave. Just one look at her would cause them to shiver. Don't be rash, Long Yu said in a low voice. He could feel the strong, killing intent from Lu Yuan. But at this moment, with Long Su, who was at the 6th rank of the True Spirit Secret Realm, it was basically impossible to kill Long Ji. If he forced his way in, he would be the one to suffer. Lu Yuan coldly snorted, but didn't say anything. She stared at Long Ji, who was lying on the ground in a sorry state. She discovered that Long Ji had been struck by Long Yu's punch, and his entire body was in incomparable pain, suffering the torment of the netherworld chi. This made Lu Yuan feel better. Even if she could not kill Long Ji could only live in pain for a period of time. Of course, pain and death were two different things. If it was possible, Lu Yuan hoped that Long Ji could go to hell to avenge her junior sister. Long time no see. The golden-armored youth, Long Su, still had an arrogant look on his face. He looked at Long Yu and laughed disdainfully. His eyes were filled with arrogance and displeasure. Previously at the Imperial Ancient Ginseng Forest, Long Yu had told him that he grew up in the Ling family's villa and hid his identity. It was not until Wang Tianzhuo was crippled that the Wang family's housekeeper, Gu Hibo, finally found out about Long Yu's identity. This made Long Su very unhappy. Long Yu was obviously playing with him at the Imperial Ancient Ginseng Forest. If he had known, he would have killed Long Yu at the Ancient Ginseng Forest. At that time, Long Yu did not have the ability to resist Long Su. However, the current Long Yu could already escape from Long Su's hands. Yes, long time no see. Long Yu calmly stood there, looking at Long Su. He was carefully estimating his strength. If Long Su wanted to kill him, how could he resist? Or should he just turn around and run? If he ran, what would happen at the 7-clan competition? Who would deal with Yu Qianing of the Thousand Thread sect? Since you are from the Long family, as your cousin, I would like to spar with you. I want to see the difference between you and your father. Long Su's lips curled. He took a step forward and a murderous aura emanated from his body. Without a doubt, Long Su had the intention to kill Long Yu. There were too many reasons. Not to mention that Long Yu was originally a thorn in the side of the Long family. But now that Long Yu had injured Long Ji, Long Su would not let Long Yu go. When Long Su's murderous aura emanated, the scene immediately became tense. Everyone stared fixedly at the scene as they were deeply afraid of missing a good show. Perhaps this show would be even more interesting than the martial competition of the 7 sects in a few days. I didn't expect Long Yu to be able to injure Long Ji with one punch when he is only in the rank 3 True Spirit Realm. This is too unexpected. But facing Long Su now, only death awaits him. That's right, the difference of 3 martial Dao realms is too big. Long Su is ranked 2nd in the Tang Empire's 9 young experts, second only to the Chu family. Now that he is dealing with Long Yu, it's like killing a chicken with a butcher's knife. So what? I heard that Long Yu's growth is extremely fast. If he is not killed here, the Long family situation will become more and more difficult in the future. With this rank 3 True Spirit Realm kid, he wants to affect the Long family? Isn't this too far-fetched? Everyone stared at the scene and swore to imprint everything that was about to happen. However, as Long Su took 3 steps forward and his blood dragon true spirit was about to emerge, a tall figure suddenly appeared in front of Long Yu. Godfather. Long Yu glanced over and saw Feng Changa's figure standing in front of him, blocking Long Su's path. At the same time, he could sense that Feng Changa's martial Dao realm had finally recovered to the rank 5 True Spirit Realm. Not only that, but Feng Changa was also making a breakthrough to a higher level. The medicinal effects of the chaotic mending pill had already taken effect and healed Feng Changa's injuries. Not only that, the spiritual qi that he had accumulated over the past 20 years was enough for him to make a breakthrough to a higher martial Dao realm. Step back, Feng Changa said in a deep voice as he stood firmly in front of Long Yu. As long as he was here, anyone who wanted to hurt Long Yu would have to get past Feng Changa first, as expected of a soldier who had experienced battles on the battlefield. Feng Changa had taken at least a few thousand lives from the ancient Meng Kingdom and the Donri Kingdom. At that moment, Feng Changa was standing in front of Long Yu like an impenetrable iron wall. Long Su stopped in his tracks and frowned slightly. He had recognized Feng Changa's identity, but he did not expect Feng Changa to have recovered his previous cultivation. So what if he had recovered his previous cultivation? His cultivation was only at the rank 5 true spirit realm. How naive of him to think he could stop Long Su. Long Su halted for a moment before he continued forward. Meanwhile, many members of the Liu family had gathered at the entrance of the Liu family's residence, including Feng Changa's wife, Liu Yu. Changa. Liu Yu squeezed her way through the crowd with an anxious look on her face. Although she had left Feng Changa in a fit of pique, her heart was still with Feng Changa and Feng Yao. She had lived her life for Feng Changa and Feng Yao. Liu Yu could not help but yell when she saw Feng Changa trying to stop Long Su just to help Long Yu. Changa, step aside. You're no match against the Long family of the generals. Liu Yu yelled. Shut up. Feng Changa, on the other hand, did not move at all. His face was filled with determination as he stared at Long Su's footsteps. I owe General Long too much in my life. Therefore, no matter what, even if it costs me my life, I will not let Xiao Yu die in front of me. Feng Changa took a step toward Long Su after he finished his sentence. At the same time, his aura skyrocketed. The endless spiritual qi in his body surged toward his recovered heaven meridian and solidified the true spirit in his dantian. Feng Changa had chosen to make a breakthrough at this moment. He wanted to step into the 6th layer of the true spirit secret realm. Chapter 182. Dressed in a snow-white silk robe, a trace of interest appeared on the beautiful and noble face of the imperial family's princess. It was said that Feng Changa was severely injured in his early years, causing his cultivation to stagnate below the true spirit realm. Who would have thought that he had already recovered? This was a good thing for the Great Tang Empire. Not only that, after Feng Changa recovered his cultivation, he used the heaven and earth spiritual qi he had accumulated over the years to break through to the true spirit realm. The imperial princess looked at Feng Changa with interest, but she did not say anything. She wanted to see how strong Feng Changa was after he recovered. Trying to break through? Long Su smirked. He did not take Feng Changa seriously at all. So what if Feng Changa had broken through to the true spirit realm? How could a mere Feng Changa, who cultivated military martial skills, compare to him, who cultivated the martial skills of the Dragon Clan? In the Great Tang Empire, even the strongest commander could not obtain a transcendent spiritual martial skill. However, as long as the disciples of the Dragon Clan were talented enough, they could cultivate a transcendent spiritual martial skill. Furthermore, the Blood Dragon art was a mystic jade martial skill. Long Su, who had comprehended the Blood Dragon domain, could defeat an ordinary true spirit realm cultivator with a single move. Furthermore, Feng Changa had been crippled for nearly 20 years. Even if he had recovered his cultivation, he might not be able to control the power in his body. Long Su sneered and took a step forward. With a wave of his hand, the Blood Dragon true spirit soared into the sky and shrouded Feng Changa with killing intent. At this moment, Feng Changa finally broke through to LV6 True Spirit Secret Realm. A giant blood-colored sword materialized behind him. With a determined look in his eyes, he controlled the giant sword and charged at Long Su's Blood Dragon True Spirit. This killing intent, Long Yu, who was not far behind Feng Changa, could clearly sense the endless killing intent contained in the giant blood-colored sword. It was even stronger than Long Su's mystic jade Blood Dragon True Spirit. Feng Changa had followed Long Zaiyan on the battlefield in his early years. The number of enemies he had killed was at least in the thousands, or even tens of thousands. Even the giant sword True Spirit, which had been dormant for nearly 20 years, was surrounded by a dense killing intent. The moment it appeared, the entire battlefield was like a battlefield filled with killing intent. Even Long Su's Blood Dragon True Spirit couldn't do this. The giant blood-colored sword instantly chopped down on the Blood Dragon True Spirit's head. The murderous aura instantly exploded and quickly spread into the surrounding air. This strike was actually evenly matched. Seeing this, Long Su's face changed slightly. He gritted his teeth and the chi in his body surged. The true spirit of the blood dragon roared angrily as its killing intent increased. With a swing of its tail, the true spirit of the blood dragon was sent flying. Then, the blood dragon roared and descended from the sky towards Feng Changa's head. Killing sword domain. Feng Changa's eyes glistened. This was the moment he had been waiting for. The profound energy in his body quickly circulated and released an incomparably terrifying murderous sword domain. Streaks of blood-colored sword light began to appear around his body, and every single sword light contained an extremely strong murderous aura. The murderous sword domain was a nomological domain that Feng Changa had comprehended on the battlefield. It was also a mystical jade nomological law. This scene caused Long Yu's eyes to be filled with joy. He didn't expect Feng Changa to have comprehended a mystical jade nomological law as well. Once he consumed the chaotic mending pill and recovered his cultivation, his battle strength would be unstoppable. In the next moment, the murderous sword domain enveloped the unprepared blood dragon true spirit. Kill. Countless streaks of blood-colored sword chi slashed at the blood dragon true spirit, causing cracks to appear on the surface of the blood dragon true spirit. These were all injuries caused by the blood-colored sword chi. Oh no, the blood dragon domain. Long Su's expression changed drastically when he realized that he had underestimated his opponent. The blood dragon true spirit roared once again, and the blood dragon domain descended. The strength of both parties was of a murderous nature on the battlefield. At this moment, their confrontation had turned the surroundings into a horrifying battlefield. Blood-splattered and murderous aura filled the air. Everyone was enveloped by the blood-colored murderous aura, making it impossible to tell whose strength it belonged to. In short, the confrontation between the two caused everyone to shut their mouths and widen their eyes. Blood dragon shakes the heavens. Long Su roared angrily. This transcendent spiritual level sound wave martial technique appeared once again in an attempt to intimidate Feng Changa. However, Feng Changa remained calm. He gritted his teeth and used his willpower to forcefully break through his opponent's suppression. Feng Changa had experienced countless battles of life and death. Whether it was battle experience or willpower, he was much stronger than Long Su. Although Long Su's blood dragon shakes the heavens was a transcendent spiritual level martial technique, it didn't affect Feng Changa much. Instead, it consumed a lot of his mystical chi. His willpower is simply too frightening. Many people in the crowd expressed their admiration for Feng Changa. No matter what, the fact that he wasn't affected by the blood dragon shakes the heavens was enough to prove his strong willpower. If not for the fact that he was severely injured and crippled 20 years ago, he would probably be an influential figure in the entire Great Tang Empire. Unfortunately, the left Duke Chu Chaoxing's scheme not only expelled Long Zaijian, but also eliminated most of the people who posed a threat to him. Feng Changa was naturally one of the people he'd crippled. Even if Feng Changa recovered now, he wouldn't be able to attain that peak level of cultivation without 20 years of comprehension. Slaughter Sword Shadow. Feng Changa stopped Long Su's blood dragon shakes the heavens, and then he didn't hesitate to immediately activate the enormous blood red sword and release a few blood red sword images that slashed towards Long Su. Even if this martial technique couldn't compare to the Long clan's martial technique, it was still a high-grade spiritual level martial technique, and it was part of the Slaughter Sword domain that he'd comprehended. Feng Changa had definitely obtained all of these through fortuitous encounters, just like how Long Yu had obtained that dark jade grade meteor. When the Slaughter Sword Shadow was executed, a violent blood-red gale swept through the surroundings, and it seemed like the entire area had been transformed into an Azura hell. Countless murderous sword shadows, blood-red in color, with unparalleled sharpness, attacked Long Su. At this moment, Feng Changa's battle intent had awakened completely, and it was like he'd returned to the hot-blooded times when he followed Long Zai Tian and fought the enemy on horseback. And all of this was brought to him by Long Yu. Initially, Feng Changa was planning to teach Long Yu the slaughter sword domain once he was stronger. However, it seemed like there was no need for that now. Even a meteorite that contained the laws of mysterious jade grade was sold by Long Yu. From this, it could be seen that the current Long Yu did not care about the laws of mysterious jade grade. After all, Long Yu had the heavenly steel. Feng Changa smiled once again after consuming the heavenly repairing pill. Feng Changa had completely awakened at this moment. The killing intent and willpower that he'd accumulated through years of battles completely suppressed Long Su's aura. The slaughter sword shadows soared through the sky, leaving countless blood-red glows in the air. Blood dragon killing fist. Long Su clenched his teeth and threw a punch forward. A blood-red fist instantly flew toward the slaughter sword shadows. The fist and the sword shadows collided with one another, resulting in a tremendous murderous intent. Blood spread to the surroundings, causing the scene to become blurry. Everyone could tell that the battle between the two was extremely intense. If they were to stand in the middle, even the shockwave from the collision of martial skills would be enough to decapitate them. General Feng, Captain Long, please stop. At this moment, a gentle voice of a young girl suddenly sounded from the side. This caused everyone to be dumbfounded. The princess of the royal family. Long Yu raised his head and saw the princess wearing a snow-white silk gown. She had a smile on her face as she walked in front of Long Su, stopping him from continuing to attack. Princess. Long Su was startled. He was the captain of the guards of the royal family. Thus he was referred to as the captain. Why was the princess stopping him from attacking Feng Changa? When he thought about it carefully, Long Su knew the reason, and a wisp of unwillingness couldn't help but surge into his heart. He glanced at Long Yu and Feng Changa and harumphed coldly. Consider yourselves lucky. Since the princess has spoken, this will be the end of the battle. He had no choice but to obey the princess, even though he was well aware of her intentions. It remains to be seen who's the lucky one, Feng Changa calmly said. He glanced at the gentle princess and bowed slightly. Commoner Feng Changa pays his respects to the princess. General Feng, there's no need to be so courteous. The princess smiled and waved her hand. General Feng has just recovered his cultivation. It's better for you to rest for a while. I hope you won't take today's incident to heart. Feng Changa did not take it to heart. Either way, he and Long Yu had not suffered any loss. Why would he be bothered about it? On the other hand, Long Ji was sent flying by Long Yu's punch, causing his meridians to be corroded by the netherworld chi. He was severely injured. Meanwhile, Long Su was about to attack Long Yu, but he was stopped by Feng Changa. Long Su wanted to crush Feng Changa, but he ended up being the one being suppressed by Feng Changa. It was undoubtedly humiliating. Feng Changa was satisfied that the other party had suffered a loss. Long Yu was satisfied too. However, he did not know why the princess had stopped the battle. It's a pity that I can't kill that bastard. Lu Yuan, who was standing aside, was filled with hatred as she watched Long Su leave with Long Ji. However, she quickly regained control of her emotions. After Long Ji's defeat, not only would he be unable to cultivate, but he would also be traumatized. If he met Long Ji again in the future, it would be extremely easy for him to kill him. Long Yu glanced at Lu Yuan's side profile and thought that she was indeed beautiful, especially her flowing white hair coupled with her black attire. It made her look even colder. Long Yu, come with me. Lu Yuan seemed to have noticed Long Yu's gaze, but she did not care. After saying this, she turned around and walked into the Lu clan mansion. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. What did Lu Yuan mean by asking him to follow her back to the Lu residence? However, he did not think too much about it. Let's go. Long Yu was about to follow when he thought a question. The princess had already left. There were some questions that could be asked now. It would not be too late to leave after asking the question. Godfather, why did the princess stop you from continuing the battle with Long Su? By right, shouldn't she be together with Long Su? Chapter 183. In Long Yu's opinion, the imperial princess and Long Su were naturally on the same side. It was already good enough that the imperial princess didn't use her status to suppress Feng Chang'e, but she still wanted both sides to stop fighting. Long Su obviously didn't want to stop fighting. However, Long Su didn't dare to continue fighting after the imperial princess spoke. Feng Chang'e smirked when he heard Long Yu's question. Little Yu, the major powers in the imperial city keep each other in check. The relationship between them is very complicated. The left duke, Chu Chaosheng, has a grudge against us, but many people in the Chu clan don't like Chu Chaosheng. The moment Feng Chang'e said this, Long Yu immediately understood. So that was it. This meant that the imperial princess who was with Long Su wasn't on Chu Chaosheng's side. She might even be on the opposite side of Chu Chaosheng. Just like how Long Zaiyin was ostracized in the Long clan, the Chu clan was definitely not on the same side. Although Chu Chaosheng wanted to deal with Long Yu and eliminate him, and even Long Su and Long Ji wanted to do so, there were still people within the imperial city who would restrict them. This had a lot to do with Long Yu's talent. Originally, in the entire imperial city, Long Yu's grandfather was probably the only one secretly protecting him and fighting against the other powers that wanted to deal with him. However, as Long Yu's talent was revealed, many people saw his value, especially those in the Chu clan who were on the opposite side of Chu Chaosheng. They wanted to protect Long Yu's life so that Long Yu could cause trouble for Chu Chaosheng and the Long clan. This was the strategy of those in power. Whether it was a country, a sect, or even a family, those who stood at the top had to consider balance. Only by maintaining a balance between the powers of the various factions would it be beneficial to one's ruling position. Without a doubt, the left duke, Chu Chaosheng, had been very active in recent years. It was likely that he had alerted the other powers of the Chu clan. Because of this, the imperial princess had appeared with Long Su to help Long Yu at this time. With the imperial princess's appearance, the matter had been perfectly resolved, and she had even helped Long Yu. Because in this way, even if Long Ji was heavily injured, the Long family of generals would not have any reason to deal with Long Yu. If they wanted to do anything, they could only do something small. If not for the imperial princess appearing, Long Yu would have been in deep trouble for injuring Long Ji. Long Yu was not a fool. After Feng Chang'e's explanation, he immediately understood the complexity of the situation. This imperial princess looks to be only 15 or 16 years old, and her cultivation is only at the 9th level of the martial path. I wonder who the big shot behind her is. Long Yu thought to himself as he quickly followed Lu Yuan into the Lu clan mansion. As for Feng Chang'e, he was definitely going to talk to Lu Yu. Now that his cultivation had recovered and was even higher, he could be considered an expert in the Great Tang Empire. He definitely had the confidence to talk to Lu Yu. It wasn't convenient for Long Yu to disturb Feng Chang'e, so he followed Lu Yuan and waited to see what she had to say. The strongest person in the Lu clan was only at the 3rd stage of the true spirit realm, so they didn't dare to stop Long Yu and Lu Yuan. Lu Ziyan was sent flying by Lu Yuan and fell to the ground. He had lost face as the patriarch. Fortunately, no one noticed him. Whether it was the appearance of Long Ji or Long Su, or the tyrannical strength of Long Yu or Feng Chang'e, they all attracted the attention of the surrounding people. Who would pay attention to the unworthy Lu family patriarch, Lu Ziyan? Long Ji's marriage proposal had naturally ended in failure. Lu Ziyan's plan had been in vain, and he had even suffered a blow from Lu Yuan. It could be said that he had suffered grievous injuries. Lu Ziyan didn't dare say a word when he saw Lu Yuan bringing Long Yu into the Lu clan. He could only watch as the two of them walked into the depths of the Lu clan residence. Lu Yuan, where are you taking me? Long Yu didn't suspect that Lu Yuan had any ulterior motives. He only took some precautions and followed her into the depths of the Lu clan residence. They came to a relatively secluded place. To see my father, Lu Yuan said calmly. To see your father? Long Yu was shocked when he heard that. She was taking him to see her parents? He wasn't prepared at all. My parents met with an accident when I was young when they went out to hunt for demonic beasts. Other than my father, everyone died. A hint of sadness flashed in Lu Yuan's eyes. And after my father came back, he also became crazy. People always say that he has completely gone mad, but I feel that he has encountered something unusual. It's just that I can't explain it. Something unusual? Long Yu's expression gradually turned serious. There were only a few things that could cause a person to become crazy. It was either extreme fear or extreme sadness. In short, it was an unbearable blow. No matter what, Lu Yuan's father was a martial cultivator. He definitely did not have any mental problems. In that case, he must have become crazy because of that accident. However, no one knew what was going on in that accident. Your godfather was severely injured and his heavenly veins were damaged. His martial realm was suppressed below the true spirit secret realm for 20 years. Lu Yuan continued with a hint of hope in her voice. I'm wondering if you have a way to cure my father. I don't have the ability to save people. Long Yu said directly. My godfather relied on a black-level elixir to recover. Black-level elixir? Lu Yuan was slightly stunned. She was obviously disappointed. She thought that Feng Chang's recovery had something to do with Long Yu. She didn't expect it to be because of a single elixir. Forget it. Since you're here, I'll bring you to see my father. Lu Yuan shook her head and strode into the deepest part of the Lu family mansion. There were 2 thatched cottages in the courtyard. It was supposed to be a quiet and peaceful place. However, when Long Yu stepped into the courtyard, he realized that it wasn't the case. The 2 thatched cottages had obviously been destroyed by someone over and over again. In a corner of the courtyard, a crazed figure was trembling, as if he had seen something extremely terrifying. That must be Lu Yuan's father. Don't come over, don't come over. Ah, Hellstorm, Hellstorm. When the deranged figure saw Long Yu and Lu Yuan, he was immediately frightened. He cried out in fear, and his entire body began to tremble even more. What? Hellstorm? Long Yu didn't know what it was, and turned to look at Lu Yuan, who was standing still. Lu Yuan stopped at the entrance of the courtyard but didn't enter. She just stared at the figure in the corner and said, After my father came back, he lived like this for more than 10 years. He didn't let anyone near him. What did he mean by Hellstorm? Long Yu asked. I don't know. Lu Yuan frowned. But in the words he usually shouted, I always felt that it meant something. For example, Long Yu asked again. The infernal storm. Demons appeared from the storm and captured my mother. They captured everyone. Lu Yuan answered softly. Demons appeared from Hellstorm? Long Yu frowned slightly. Ever since he came to the Heavenly Mandate continent, he rarely heard about demons or hell. On this continent, everyone only believed in themselves and the martial arts path. No one would believe that gods, demons, and monsters were real. Because of this, no one believed Lu Yuan's father when he shouted such words. They all thought he was crazy. But Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. He remembered that in the memory of the dragon seal of 9 underworlds, the world was called the Shenwu world, not the Heavenly Mandate continent. Also, the Shenwu world in his memory seemed to be much larger than the Heavenly Mandate continent. Originally, Long Yu had always wondered if there were other worlds outside of the Heavenly Mandate continent. Now that he heard Lu Yuan's father's words, he could almost guess the truth. The Heavenly Mandate continent might only be a small part of the Shenwu world. Through the so-called Hellstorm, the powerful martial arts practitioners of the Shenwu world could come to the Heavenly Mandate continent. Compared to the martial arts practitioners of the Heavenly Mandate continent, the martial arts practitioners of the Shenwu world were naturally extremely powerful. Just like the Juyo tribe in Long Yu's memory, the people there called themselves the descendants of the dragon and the youngest heavenly human secret realm cultivator, even younger than Long Yu. But in the Heavenly Mandate continent, Long Yu had never seen any heavenly human secret realm cultivator. Now, the only heavenly human secret realm cultivator he knew was one of the 7 stars of disaster, Starseed Leaf. Was the Shenwu world really outside of the Heavenly Mandate continent? If it wasn't, then what was the connection between the two? These speculations only flashed through Long Yu's mind for a moment. Then, He comforted her. Lu Yuan, don't be too discouraged. Your father said that your mother was captured, and she might still be alive. As long as you continue to grow stronger, you will find out the truth one day. I think so too, but it's a pity that my father— Lu Yuan's eyes were a little sad. There's nothing we can do about it. Everything has a cause and effect. Long Yu said solemnly. If you want to untie the knot in your father's heart, you must first find out the truth. And if you want to understand the situation, you must have extraordinary strength. That's true. Lu Yuan nodded, then suggested, we each obtained half of the Tying Heaven steel. Why don't we combine them and study together? No problem. Long Yu agreed without hesitation. As he and the Tying Heaven steel harmonized, he felt that his understanding of the laws of the shadow would soon reach another level. If he could have a complete Tying Heaven steel to study, that would definitely be excellent. Seeing Long Yu agree, Lu Yuan breathed a sigh of relief. She was very pleased with Long Yu's reaction, because Long Yu did not call her father a madman like the others. Instead, he comforted her by saying that her mother might still be alive. Of course, Lu Yuan did not know that what Long Yu was thinking was completely beyond her level of understanding. The Xinwu continent, the Jiuyou tribe, the heavenly human secret realm. No matter which one it was, they were all things that Lu Yuan could not come into contact with right now. After dealing with Long Ji together, the two of them had become much closer, to the point that the Tying Heaven steel was willing to share it with each other. Suddenly, Long Yu felt the dragon mark of the 9 underworlds on his chest start to heat up, and the cause of this change was Lu Yuan's father, who was sitting in a corner. Chapter 184. When he first arrived at the entrance of the courtyard, Long Yu didn't pay much attention. But as he chatted with Lu Yuan, the 9 underworld dragon mark on his chest became hotter and hotter. And this came from Lu Yuan's father. What's going on? Long Yu's expression changed. He carefully observed the figure in the corner. There was nothing special about Lu Yuan's father. He was just a normal martial cultivator without any cultivation and a bit crazy. But there seemed to be something special hiding inside his body. Demon seed. From a 9 underworld dragon mark, a vague consciousness suddenly came. Following these words was an introduction to this hell demon seed. And this introduction made Long Yu's expression darken. Hell demon seed. It really is something from Shunwu world. It's not a thing, it's just a thought, a terrifying thought from a certain sect in Shunwu world. This terrifying thought, after being implanted into someone's mind, will germinate inside the target's body and control their thoughts. Moreover, the most terrifying characteristic of the Hell Demon Seed was that under 2 circumstances, the Hell Demon Seed would explode and spread to the people around it. The first is when a disciple of a sect in Shunwu world uses their sect's martial skill to control the Hell Demon Seed to explode, allowing the Hell Demon Seed to spread and control more people. The second is when the person infected with the Hell Demon Seed is killed. For example, if Lu Yuan's father is killed, then the Hell Demon Seed inside his body will explode and spread to the surroundings, infecting everyone. Long Yu and Lu Yuan, who are very close, definitely won't be able to escape. The explosion will probably affect the entire Tang Dynasty Imperial City. Through the 9 underworld dragon marks reminder, Long Yu understood the characteristics of this Hell Demon Seed. His expression became extremely ugly. In other words, Lu Yuan's father is a ticking time bomb. No matter who it is, if they kill him, the entire Imperial City will suffer. This Hell Demon Seed, just what sect created this terrifying thought? It's so evil. Long Yu has killed many people, but when he heard about this Hell Demon Seed, he still shivered. The Hell Demon Seed could make those infected live in fear for the rest of their lives. No wonder Lu Yuan's father was so delirious and crazy. And the Hell Storm he mentioned also allowed Long Yu to accurately guess some things. Back then, it was likely that a powerful cultivator from Shunwu world opened the path to the Heavenly Mandate continent and captured Lu Yuan's mother and the others. As for Lu Yuan's father, for some reason, he was left in Heavenly Mandate continent. Yet he was infected with a hell demon seed. Did that sect of Shunwu world do this on purpose? Long Yu fell into deep thought. Given how powerful the other party was, it was impossible for him to have left Lu Yuan's father behind. It was very likely that the other party had done this on purpose. Demon could Lulu. It was obvious that once Lu Yuan's father was killed, the hell demon seed in his body would explode and infect more people. If this happened a few times, all the martial arts cultivators and demonic beasts in the Heavenly Mandate continent would be infected by the hell demon seed. At that time, when the people of that clan from the Divine Battle World came to the Heavenly Mandate continent again, it would be the time to harvest. At this time, all the martial arts practitioners of the Heavenly Mandate continent would obey the orders of the people from that clan. Fortunately, the other party seemed to have some scruples when they invaded the Heavenly Mandate continent. Otherwise, they could have planted the hell demonic seed in Lu Yuan's father and killed him. The hell demonic seed would have easily exploded. Long Yu thought to himself that although the other party's clan was strange, they seemed to have a lot of scruples. It seemed that they couldn't kill anyone on the Heavenly Mandate continent. Regarding this, Long Yu was only guessing. However, under the vague reminder of the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, he guessed most of it. The Heavenly Mandate continent was just a continent, and outside the Heavenly Mandate continent was the Shunwu world. Shunwu world is the true Great World. Long Yu didn't know how many people in the Heavenly Mandate continent knew about this truth. But one thing was for sure. Without reaching the Celestial Realm, it was impossible to know anything about the Divine Battle World. The Heavenly Mandate continent has become so dangerous. Long Yu believed the reminder of the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds without a doubt. Apart from Lu Yuan's father, were there any other people who had been planted with the hell demonic seed in the entire Heavenly Mandate continent? Long Yu didn't know, and it was impossible for him to know. Right now, he could only try to ask the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds if there was any way to restrain or expel the hell demonic seed. If there was, then it would be great. The crisis of Lu Yuan's father could be easily resolved. Even if the hell demonic seed really did break out somewhere, Long Yu would be able to prepare a specific way to deal with it. The hell demonic seed is a type of spiritual martial arts technique. In order to overcome spiritual martial arts techniques, one must either have extremely strong willpower or cultivate spiritual martial arts techniques. After getting the answer from the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, Long Yu thought for a moment. He had never seen any spiritual martial arts techniques. It seemed that the Divine Battle World was indeed much more powerful than the Heavenly Mandate continent. If that was the case, not to mention the Tang Empire, even in the entire Heavenly Mandate continent, there might not be a spiritual martial arts technique that could eliminate the hell demonic seed. Lu Yuan had snow-white hair and snow-white eyebrows. She stood at the side and looked at Long Yu with a strange look. Long Yu had been standing in this position for a long time. He had been staring at her father, but he didn't say a word. No one knew what he was thinking. Long Yu, did you see something? Lu Yuan asked tentatively. The clear and melodious voice of an oriole pulled Long Yu back to reality from his thoughts. It was one thing to know about the hell demonic seed, but it was another thing to deal with it. At least, in order to ensure the safety of himself and the Jintian clan, Long Yu had to ensure that Lu Yuan's father was not killed. Lu Yuan, let me ask you a question. Does your father have any enemies? Will he be in danger? Long Yu asked in a low voice. Of course not. My father used to be a kind person, and he always taught me that. Unfortunately, as Lu Yuan spoke, her eyes reddened. But after thinking about it, she realized that it wasn't the time to think about this. She replied to Long Yu, my father doesn't have any enemies, and no one would want to harm a madman. As she said this, Lu Yuan smiled pitifully. Her father was already crazy. If anyone wanted to harm her father, wouldn't that be the epitome of madness? For so many years, no one had paid attention to her father. It was as if he had already left this world. If she hadn't paid for someone to take care of him, her father would have died a long time ago. That's good, Long Yu thought for a moment. He didn't tell her about the hell demonic seed. After all, it was too shocking. Whether Lu Yuan believed him or not was a problem. Even if she did believe him, it would definitely expose many aspects of Long Yu, which would not benefit Long Yu at all. Most importantly, there was no point in telling Lu Yuan about this. No matter what, the Hell Demonic Seed was still a disaster. Long Yu decided to find out more about the whereabouts of the spiritual martial arts techniques. If he could get rid of the Hell Demonic Seed, that would be for the best. Long Yu thought this way, not for Lu Yuan, but for himself and the people around him. If the Hell Demonic Seed broke out, it would endanger the entire Heavenly Mandate continent. It would cause the entire Heavenly Mandate continent to become the plaything of those evil sects. As for what would happen after the Hell Demonic Seed was removed from Lu Yuan's father, Long Yu couldn't think about it. Even if he died, Long Yu could only do it. For Long Yu, Lu Yuan was not someone important to him. Lu Yuan's father was even less important. You must ensure your father's safety. I know a way that might be able to save your father. That is to cultivate spiritual martial arts techniques. Long Yu said with a serious expression. Spiritual martial arts techniques? Lu Yuan was stunned. It was obvious that she was the same as Long Yu. She had never heard of such martial arts techniques. In the future, if you have the opportunity, you can ask around for more information about this. Once there is news, it might be possible to save your father. Long Yu said immediately, "Yes, I will." Lu Yuan nodded lightly. She wasn't sure if what Long Yu said was true or false. However, she had always felt that Long Yu was very mysterious. At least, when she and Long Yu fell into the stone room where the lunar heaven tablet was, she couldn't understand it no matter how hard she thought about it. Why did the two of them fall in and each obtain half of the lunar heaven tablet? The Chu clan of the sovereign family had clearly sent people here long ago to try to find the lunar heaven tablet. However, they spent many years and returned without success. Finally, they used the Ling clan's villa as a mine to develop. She, Lu Yuan, had never been special. She wouldn't believe that they had entered that stone room because of her. The problem was definitely with Long Yu. Lu Yuan had lent her beloved horse to Long Yu for this reason. She wanted to build a good relationship with Long Yu. Now, it seemed that this strategy was quite successful. The mysterious Long Yu even said that there was a spiritual martial technique that could save her father. Lu Yuan didn't ask Long Yu much. She knew that Long Yu had his own secrets. If she asked too much, it would definitely cause Long Yu to be unhappy. Therefore, she turned around and said to Long Yu, "Let's find a place to comprehend the lunar heaven tablet. I know a good place." I was able to comprehend the extreme Yin charm so quickly because I was cultivating in that place. "Oh, what place?" Hearing this, Long Yu's interest was piqued. A place that could quickly comprehend the law of the lunar star was quite useful to him. "Follow me and you'll know." Lu Yuan smiled mysteriously. She turned and ran out of the Lu clan residence. Of course, the place she was talking about was not the Lu clan mansion. It was not even in the Great Tang Imperial City. Long Yu followed her and soon left the boundaries of the Great Tang Imperial City, heading toward the mountain range not far away. At this moment, Long Yu was still thinking about the Hell Demon Seed. He was careless and didn't notice that a group of people had followed them out of the Imperial City. Chapter 185. This group of people who wanted to kill Long Yu were from the aristocratic Wang clan. The Wang family's chief steward, Gu Hebo, was a white-haired old man, but his expression was extremely determined. Not only was he a fifth-layer true spirit realm expert, but he also had rich battle experience. He led more than 10 true spirit guards from the Wang family and set off from the Great Tang Imperial City, chasing after Long Yu and Lu Yuan. Although Long Yu and Lu Yuan had joined forces to defeat Long Ji, who was also at the fifth-layer true spirit realm, Gu Hebo was different from Long Ji. Long Ji had just stepped into the fifth-layer true spirit realm and had yet to master the power of this level. Adding on to the fact that he was too young, he was 100% no match for Gu Hebo. Moreover, the true spirit guards that Gu Hebo had brought were all experts at the third and fourth layer of the true spirit realm, which was equivalent to half of the Wang family's strength. The Wang family's overall strength was similar to the Jintian clan, and the people that Gu Hebo led were equivalent to the Jintian clan's elder cabinet, except that they lacked a top expert like Black. However, Gu Hebo didn't feel that there was a need to invite someone stronger from the Wang family to deal with someone at the third layer true spirit realm. He alone was enough. Apart from Gu Hebo, there's also a young man in the group who was also at the fifth layer true spirit realm. This handsome young man was the eldest young master of the Wang family, Wang Yuanshan. In the past, Wang Tianzhuo was very respectful to me, but who would have thought that he would be crippled by this Long Yu? Wang Yuanshan and Gu Hebo ran together, their eyes flashing with a hint of ruthlessness. With the eldest young master accompanying me, we will definitely be able to capture that brat alive and obtain his lunar heavenly steel, Gu Hebo said in an old voice. Steward Gu, do you know where that brat and Lu Yuan are going? Wang Yuanshan had been training outside and had only recently returned to the imperial city, wanting to see what kind of experts would appear at the seventh sect martial competition. He had just received news of Long Yu and wanted to eliminate him before the seventh sect martial competition. It should be the frigid pool, Ice Valley. Ancient Herb said with certainty. Long Yu has the lunar heavenly steel with him, and the overall environment is very similar to the frigid pond, Ice Valley. Perhaps he will be able to comprehend the power of the lunar heavenly steel faster there. Frigid pond, Ice Valley. A ruthless look appeared on Wang Yuanshan's handsome face. This frigid pond, Ice Valley, will be the burial ground of Long Yu. Lu Yuan led Long Yu all the way. Their destination was indeed the frigid pool, Ice Valley in the mountain range. This was a valley located at an extremely low elevation. In the middle of the valley, there was a cold pond. The ice never melted, causing the entire valley to be extremely cold. This was indeed very similar to the nomological power of the lunar heavenly tablet. If one were to cultivate within it, they would clearly be able to comprehend the nomological power of the lunar heavenly tablet even faster. Lu Yuan's talent was clearly not comparable to Long Yu's, but just like Long Yu, she had already comprehended the lunar charm. This was all thanks to the frigid pool, Ice Valley. There were not many demonic beasts in the mountain range near the Great Tang Imperial City. After all, there were too many experts in the Great Tang Imperial City. Which demonic beast would live in the nearby mountain range? Wasn't that purely seeking death? Not long after, Long Yu followed Lu Yuan deep into the mountain range. A faintly discernible wisp of cold air drifted over from the front. I seemed to have sensed the aura of the frigid pool, Ice Valley. Long Yu's heart jolted, and his thoughts, which were immersed in the hell demon seed, were pulled back to reality. He did not have any solution to the hell demon seed at the moment. The only thing he could do was temporarily ensure the safety of Lu Yuan's father. Of course, no one would want the life of a deranged fellow. If there were enemies, they would have done so long ago. Why would they wait until now? Therefore, Long Yu was not too worried about the safety of Lu Yuan's father. The most important thing now was to increase his own strength. When he was fighting against Long Ji, although he did not use all his strength, he already felt that it was difficult. As for Long Ji, he had just stepped into LV5 of the true spirit realm. Now, Long Yu was sure that Yu Qianing of the Thousand Thread sect had already advanced to LV5 of the true spirit realm. The left Duke, Chu Chaosheng, had a daughter in the Thousand Thread sect. This was a great tool for him to attack the other 7 sects and consolidate his own position. In order to suppress Yu Qianing, Long Yu had to become stronger. Comprehending the law of moon in the frigid pool Ice Valley was a great opportunity. If he could improve his comprehension of the law of moon, Long Yu's strength would increase by another level. Follow me. Lu Yuan led Long Yu down the mountain path. Soon, they stepped into a valley with extremely low terrain. Cold air assaulted them. This is the frigid pool Ice Valley. Long Yu followed Lu Yuan's footsteps. The moment he stepped in, it was as if he had stepped into a kingdom of ice and snow. The Great Tang Imperial City was not particularly far to the north. Logically, it should not have such a world of ice and snow. However, in this extremely low terrain, there was a frigid pool, Ice Valley. In the center of this cold valley, there was a completely frozen pool of water. The pool was not large, but it was completely frozen and exuded endless cold air. The coldness of the frigid pool ice valley could not compare to the level of the Law of Moon. However, to ordinary martial cultivators, it was still difficult to approach. If one did not condense their true spirit and entered the frigid pool ice valley, they would easily freeze to death. The place we are going to is still some distance away. After arriving at the frigid pool ice valley, Lu Yuan stood next to Long Yu and gave him a mysterious smile. Some distance away? Long Yu was somewhat surprised. Standing here, he could already feel the lunar wings in his arms become active. If he comprehended the Law of Moon here, his speed would definitely be more than twice as fast as in the outside world. However, Lu Yuan said that this was not the final destination. Under Long Yu's puzzled gaze, Lu Yuan walked to the frozen pool of water. She lifted her leg and stomped down hard, instantly creating several cracks in the ice. Let's go to the bottom of the frigid pool. The temperature there is the lowest, and it is the most suitable place to comprehend the lunar heavenly tablet. Lu Yuan's lips curled up as she explained. I see. There was some surprise in Long Yu's eyes. This Lu Yuan was actually able to think of such a method to quickly comprehend the power contained in the lunar heavenly tablet. She was quite smart. It seemed that the martial cultivators of the heavenly mandate continent were willing to go to any lengths on the path of cultivation. Even if they froze themselves into ice, as long as they could maintain their consciousness, they would be able to comprehend even greater power. Lunar heavenly tablet, take it out. Long Yu thought for a moment, then took out the half of the lunar heavenly tablet. At the same time, he held the 9-yu dragon spear and moved forward. The spear slammed down, causing the surface of the frigid pool to crack like a spider web. The spear swept out, and a huge force of hundreds of thousands of pounds instantly exploded, creating a deep pit in the center of the frigid pool. Long Yu didn't stop moving. He continued to raise the 9 nether dragon spear and unleash the 10,000 human kill martial skill. Killing intent instantly spread out, and along with a terrifying force, a deep well that led to the bottom was gradually formed in the center of the cold pond. This deep well was enough for 2 people to jump in at the same time. At this time, Lu Yuan also took out the lunar heavenly tablet that had turned into a jade tablet. She looked at Long Yu. Then, with a thought, she let the lunar heavenly tablet return to its original size. Immediately, the 2 halves of the lunar heavenly tablet in their hands fused together, forming a complete lunar heavenly tablet. With the complete fusion of the lunar heavenly tablet, the power of the lunar laws released instantly increased by several times, causing Long Yu and Lu Yuan to both be delighted. In this way, the speed at which they comprehended the lunar laws would definitely be greatly increased. I should be able to comprehend the lunar laws soon. Long Yu's eyes lit up, and he looked at Lu Yuan. The 2 of them nodded at the same time, then threw the lunar heavenly tablet into the deep pit in the center of the frigid pool. Then they both jumped in. After the lunar heavenly tablet was completely fused, the temperature of the entire frigid pool dropped rapidly. Very quickly, the deep pit that Long Yu had dug on the surface of the frigid pool froze up again. The entire surface of the frigid pool returned to normal in no time, as if no one had ever been here. However, the rapidly dropping temperature of the frigid pool showed that this place was different from usual. Long Yu and Lu Yuan each placed a hand on the lunar heavenly tablet. Not long after, they were completely frozen by the terrifyingly low temperature, unable to move at all. In Long Yu's vision, the surface of the frigid pool and ice valley, which were separated by a layer of ice, could no longer be seen clearly. He could only faintly feel an extremely weak ray of sunlight shining on the surface of the frigid pool, leaving a bit of light in his eyes. This kind of cultivation method was extremely dangerous. If they were not careful, the Xianqi in their bodies would be depleted, and they would be unable to break through the ice layer to return to the surface of the frigid pool. Then, they would freeze to death at the bottom of the frigid pool. Although Lu Yuan was already very experienced, Now that the lunar heavenly tablet was completely fused, the pressure on her instantly increased greatly. Looks like this time's cultivation cannot continue for too long. However, the effects are better than any other time, Lu Yuan thought to herself. However, the two people cultivating at the bottom of the frigid pool completely did not expect that at this moment there would be a group of people following their tracks, chasing all the way to the frigid pool and ice valley, wanting to kill them. Gu Hebo and Wang Yuanshun, two important figures of the aristocratic Wang family, led the other 9 Wang family true spirit guards and stepped into the frigid pool and ice valley. Where are they? Gu Hebo and Wang Yuanshun looked over, only to see the frigid pool in the center of the ice valley, as well as the surrounding snow-white mountain walls, but not a single figure. The temperature here is much lower. They definitely came here and even took out the lunar heavenly tablet. Wang Yuanshun's face darkened. Everyone spread out and search. As long as you find traces of them, immediately inform the others to gather. This time, we absolutely cannot let them escape. The aristocratic Wang family had a total of more than 10 people. They spread out towards the surroundings of the frigid pool and ice valley at the same time, want to find traces of Long Yu and Lu Yuan. They completely did not expect that Long Yu and Lu Yuan would be comprehending the lunar laws at the bottom of the frigid pool. Of course, as time passed, they would realize something sooner or later. Chapter 186. A day and a night quickly passed. The 9 true spirit guards of the Wang family searched the surroundings of the frigid pond ice valley until daybreak, but they still could not find traces of Long Yu and Lu Yuan. Instead, they were shivering from the sudden drop in temperature around the frigid pond ice valley. The mental cultivation method that the Wang family cultivated was called the Tiger King art. The law that they comprehended was the domineering Tiger King law. Yet, in such a low temperature, all of them became dispirited. Where did those two run off to? Wang Yuanshun's face was gloomy, and he was very unhappy. They had clearly followed the other party to this frigid pond ice valley, but in less than an hour, the other party had completely disappeared. Only the greatly reduced temperature let them know that Long Yu and Lu Yuan had definitely been here. In the frigid pond ice valley, the extremely low temperature has not dissipated. The lunar heavenly tablet is very likely to be nearby. Gu Herbert was indeed experienced. He looked around, and his gaze finally stopped at the center of the frigid pond. He had not paid much attention before, but now that he could not find Long Yu anywhere, he looked even more carefully. Finally, he saw that there were faint traces of a chisel in the center of the frigid pond. At the bottom of the frigid pond? Gu Herbert's heart skipped a beat as he suddenly thought of this possibility. He was immediately shocked by this guess. The temperature of the frigid pond ice valley was already very low. The valley was covered in ice all year round. Now that the lunar heavenly tablet was nearby, the temperature was even lower. Under such low temperature, Long Yu and Lu Yuan had actually chosen to enter the frigid pond and be completely frozen. This way, comprehending the lunar heavenly tablet would be much easier, but it was also extremely dangerous. Break open the surface of the frigid pond. I want to see if they are really hiding inside. Gu Herbert's order caused the eyes of the Wang family to light up. Hiding at the bottom of the frigid pond? That was too crazy. However, this could also explain why they had searched for a day and night without finding any traces of Long Yu and Lu Yuan. Instantly, a fierce light flashed in Wang Yuanshun's eyes. A man and a woman alone. That's quite romantic. But it's a pity that will make you a short-lived Mandarin duck. With a wave of Wang Yuanshun's hand, the 9 Wang family true spirit guards walked toward the center of the cold pond. They used all their strength and smashed the surface of the cold pond. A thunderous sound was heard. At the bottom of the cold pond, Long Yu and Lu Yuan had been cultivating for a day and a night. Long Yu did not know how Lu Yuan was cultivating. He only knew that in this one day and night, he had a deeper understanding of the power of the lunar heaven steel. Originally, He had comprehended the law of Een to the level of divine charm, and was still a step away from comprehending the power of heaven and earth. And during this period of time at the bottom of the frigid lake, he had finally broken through, comprehending the laws of Een to the level of the force of the heavens and earth. A martial cultivator's comprehension of the laws of heaven and earth was like heaven and earth with every increase in level. Long Yu, who had comprehended the power of the lunar heaven and earth, was finally not inferior to Long Ji, who had comprehended the blood dragon domain. Although the domain was a level stronger than the power of heaven and earth, the laws of Een were at the earth seal level, which was a level higher than the blood dragon. This difference of one level allowed Long Yu's power to surpass Long Ji, who was at the 5th level of the true spirit secret realm. This showed how powerful the heaven steel was. After comprehending the power of heaven and earth, the celestial chi in my body is almost depleted. This cold pond and the lunar heaven steel are really too cold. Just as Long Yu was thinking about this and was about to leave, there was a sudden rumble from the surface of the cold pond, as if someone was smashing open the surface of the ice. Who is it? Long Yu's expression changed. There was actually someone coming to cut open the ice at this time. Could it be that they knew that he and Lu Yuan were inside? His body was completely frozen by the ice, and he could not warn Lu Yuan, who was beside him. He did not know if Lu Yuan had noticed. No matter what, Long Yu had to prepare for battle. He quietly circulated the celestial chi in his body, and the 9 underworld dragon seal was activated, emitting heat. 9 underworld dragon fist. Long Yu punched out, instantly striking the surface of the frigid pond. Because he might be in danger, Long Yu used all his strength. This punch instantly broke through the entire ice layer of the cold pond, causing everyone above the ice layer to be stunned. Then, Long Yu's body shot out from the bottom of the cold pond like a cannonball, and along with the 9 underworld chi, he spread out in all directions. One punch, just one punch. The Yellow Springs path materialized, and the Yellow Springs spirit quietly condensed, instantly releasing an old man at the 5th level of the true spirit secret realm that Long Yu saw. He was immediately shocked by the Yellow Springs path. That old man was the head steward of the Wang family, Gu Hebo. Gu Hebo did not expect that Long Yu would rush out from the bottom of the cold pond and make him his target. It's the Wang family? Long Yu glanced over and saw a surprised Wang Yuanshan. This guy looked similar to the previous Wang Tianjua, which allowed Long Yu to guess his identity. Since it was an enemy, there was no need to hold back. Tying force. A cold light flashed in Long Yu's eyes. Without any hesitation, he released the tying force, and together with the cold air of the cold pond, it enveloped all the enemies present. Even with the strength of one person against more than 10 people from the Wang family, Long Yu did not retreat. Because he knew that if he retreated now, it would mean Lu Yuan's death, and the Tai Yin heavenly tablet would be snatched away. The moment Long Yu used the Tai Yin force, the temperature in the cold pond and ice valley dropped by several levels. Under the cover of the Tai Yin force, even the air seemed to be condensed into frost. The whole valley was filled with ice shards. If an ordinary person entered, they would probably be frozen into ice, including Wang Yuanshan. Everyone from the Wang family activated their Xian Qi at the same time to resist the invasion of the Tai Yin force's cold air. Combined with the terrain advantage of the cold pond and ice valley, Long Yu's Tai Yin force was too terrifying. If they did not deliberately resist, in just a few breaths' time, their meridians would be frozen by the cold air, and they would die here. Tai Yin wings, swift travel. Long Yu released the Tai Yin force without any hesitation. The Tai Yin wings stretched out behind his back, and he burst forth with his fastest speed, instantly appearing behind the old man Gu Hebo. Long Yu and the Tai Yin wings were compatible with Tian Qi. Even someone at the 6th level of the true spirit realm could not catch him, not to mention Gu Hebo and Wang Yuanshan, who were only at the 5th level of the true spirit realm. Everyone only saw Long Yu's figure flash and appear behind Gu Hebo, followed by a punch. The power of samsara spread out in an instant, completely enveloping Gu Hebo. Housekeeper Gu, watch out. Wang Yuanshan's face immediately changed. Long Yu's attack came too quickly, actually catching Gu Hebo off guard and even completely intimidated him. Wang Yuanshan was indeed a 5th-level true spirit realm expert. In this instant, he reacted immediately. Although he used a portion of his strength to resist the Taiyin force, he still had plenty of room to spare. Wang Yuanshan's figure flickered, and the true form of the Tiger King's true spirit instantly appeared behind him. Tiger King domain, suppress for me. Wang Yuanshan bellowed. In that instant, the Tiger King domain and the Taiyin force clashed. In an instant, it actually broke through the obstruction of the Taiyin force, descending on Long Yu's head. If it was a one-on-one confrontation with Wang Yuanshan, Long Yu's Taiyin force was definitely stronger than Wang Yuanshan's Tiger King domain. But now, Long Yu used the Taiyin force to suppress 11 Wang family members at the same time. It was precisely because of this that the power was scattered, allowing Wang Yuanshan to break through the obstruction of the Taiyin force. Samsara, awakening palm. Long Yu raised his hand, and the power of Samsara continued to pour out. The suppression of the Tiger King domain made it very strenuous for him, but as he punched out with the Samsara awakening palm, the other party's Tiger King domain was instantly weakened by a level. Heaven's suppressing domain. Long Yu relied on the heaven's suppressing domain of the 3rd-level true spirit realm to resist the weakened Tiger King true spirit, and for a moment, they were actually evenly matched. Unfortunately, after Wang Yuanshan's disturbance, Gu Hebo finally awakened from the Yellow Springs path. His body erupted with an extremely powerful aura, shattering the Yellow Springs spirit that was restraining him. You're very strong, but today you'll die without a doubt. Gu Hebo woke up, and his eyes immediately flickered with an ominous glint. The Tiger King true spirit also appeared, forming the Tiger King domain, suppressing towards Long Yu. The double Tiger King domain instantly suppressed Long Yu to the point where he could not breathe. Nightmare thunder profundity erupt. Long Yu gritted his teeth, and the destructive power of the nightmare thunder law instantly erupted, attaching itself to the 9 Nether Dragon spear, and he stabbed it towards Gu Hebo. Naive. Gu Hebo turned around and punched, the terrifying power repelling Long Yu's spear. There was a difference of 2 levels in the martial Dao between the two, and Wang Yuanshan was also there to stop Long Yu's series of martial skills from the side. Having lost the initiative, Long Yu did not seem to have any chance of winning. However, just as Gu Hebo and Wang Yuanshan were about to surround and kill Long Yu, the lunar wings on Long Yu's back once again stretched out. Swift travel. With Long Yu's speed, they could not catch up even if they whipped their horses, not to mention in a place like the Cold Pool Ice Valley, where they were suppressed by the lunar grand influence. You guys have no chance of winning at all. Long Yu's eyes flashed. Is that so? With your 3rd-level true spirit realm strength, how long can you last against us? When your mystic chi is exhausted, only death awaits you. Gu Hebo and Wang Yuanshan guarded the 2 sides of the Cold Pool Ice Valley. This way, even with Long Yu's speed, it would be impossible to escape from the Cold Pool Ice Valley. After all, there was only one exit from the Cold Pool Ice Valley, and the mountain wall at the side was thousands of feet high. It was absolutely impossible to pass over, even for Long Yu. Although Long Yu could glide, he could not really fly. It was impossible for him to leap over a mountain wall that was thousands of feet high. Hand over the lunar heaven tablet, and I'll spare your life. Wang Yuanshan said coldly, forming a triangular formation with Gu Hebo, pressing towards Long Yu. Under the watchful eyes of the two, it was impossible for Long Yu to make any other moves. Otherwise, he would have to face the strongest attack from the two. Chapter 187. Long Yu was surrounded by Wang Yuanshan and Gu Hebo, 2 experts at the 5th LV, 5 true spirit realm, so he did not dare to move. The 9 true spear guard of the Wang family were closing in on Long Yu step by step. There were 11 experts from the Wang family present, and none of them were weaker than Long Yu. They were at least in the third LV. 11 against 1. No matter how heaven-defying Long Yu was, he would not be able to survive. However, just when Wang Yuanxin and Gu Hebo thought that victory was in their grasp, the situation suddenly changed. A figure wearing black clothes suddenly jumped out from the ice cave where Long Yufeng just jumped out. Immediately after, the figure transformed into a white sword shadow and quickly attacked the 9 Wang family's true spirit guards. The 9 true spirit guards had used a large part of their strength to resist Long Yu's tying force. Facing Lu Yuan's sudden attack, they had no strength to resist at all. Flowing light sword shadow. The crimson sword light flowed and instantly killed a true spirit guard captain at the 4th LV. Then, Lu Yuan's delicate and agile figure continued to attack the other true spirit guards. Lu Yuan's sudden attack, while Long Yu was restraining the 2 experts, Wang Yuanxin and Gu Hebo, instantly messing up the other true spirit guards formation. Good job! Long Yu laughed and did not feel any sense of danger for being attacked by 2 experts. You're courting death. Wang Yuanxin's eyes flashed fiercely. He immediately moved, wanting to quickly kill Lu Yuan. If he did not make a move, the true spirit guards of the Wang family would probably be killed by Lu Yuan. After all, Long Yu's tying force was too terrifying. It had forcefully suppressed the true spirit guard strength by 1 realm. This group of true spirit guards was close to half of the Wang family's strength. They could not be lost here. Wang Yuanxin already had a headache after Lu Yuan suddenly killed a true spirit guard captain. He couldn't have any more casualties. Originally, He Gu and Wang Yuanxin had wanted to bring some people to stop Long Yu and Lu Yuan from escaping. Moreover, with so many people surrounding them, Long Yu wouldn't be able to pose any threat to them. But they completely did not expect that Long Yu actually comprehended the great En major force within this short period of time. An earth seal great law of heaven and earth, after comprehending the grand power of heaven and earth, would be extremely terrifying. This was something that Gu Herbert and Wang Yuanxin hadn't expected. They had never seen the heavenly steel laws before, and it was precisely because of this that they yearned for Long Yu's lunar heavenly steel so much. Wang Yuanxin attacked Lu Yuan, while Long Yu found an opportunity. Ancient Herb was dead for sure. Long Yu did not dare to fight against 2 experts at the 5th rank of the True Spirit Secret Realm, but with only Gu He left, what was there to be afraid of? As for Lu Yuan, Long Yu wasn't very worried about her. He had expended a large amount of Xian Qi to maintain the great En major force. Wasn't it to restrain everyone else? At least, the remaining 8 Wang family true spirit guards were no longer a threat, and Wang Yuanxin also needed to expend a lot of energy to resist the great En major force. Under the situation of being suppressed by the great En major force, Lu Yuan definitely wouldn't have a problem surviving against Wang Yuanxin. One had to know that Lu Yuan was also someone who had comprehended the great En charm. Dantian, Long Yu's Dantian, which had been tempered by the heavenly thunder, rapidly pulsed at this moment, allowing all the Xian Qi in his body to rapidly recover. The current him had Xian Qi recovery speed several times faster than ordinary martial cultivators. The effects of tempering his Dantian with the law of nightmare thunder were too strong. Kill. Long Yu didn't pay attention to Wang Yuanxin and Lu Yuan anymore. Against Gu He had to go all out, or he would be easily killed by the other party. After all, the difference in their basic strength was obvious, and the other party had a true spirit that had condensed into a physical body. Long Yu didn't even dare to release his Sun true spirit in a battle like this, or he would definitely be completely defeated by the other party. Awakening Samsara Palm. Long Yu gathered the 9 Nether Samsara Chi in his fist, and the great En wings flapped behind his back, turning him into a grayish-black ray of light, blasting towards Gu He. Long Yu actually wanted to fight Gu He in close combat, courting death. When Gu Hebo saw Long Yu charging towards him, he snorted coldly. This brat really doesn't know the immensity of the heavens and the earth. He's only at the 3rd stage of the true spirit secret realm. Does he really think he can fight against a 5th stage, true spirit secret realm expert? Even if Long Yu could heavily injure Long Ji in a direct confrontation, Long Yu definitely wouldn't be a match for a 5th level true spirit realm expert. Spirit Tiger King Fist. The power of Gu He's Tiger King domain condensed on his fist, and a ferocious spirit tiger appeared in the air. With a violent and overbearing fist wind, it smashed towards Long Yu's fist. The 9 Nether Samsara Chi exploded, instantly reducing the power of Gu He's Spirit Tiger King fist by more than half. Awakening Samsara Palm. Enter Samsara. Following that, Long Yu used his body to resist the other party's fist, and at the same time, he punched out again, sending Gu He's cultivation down to the 4th level of the true spirit realm. Facing Gu Hebo's punch head-on, Long Yu's body erupted with thunder and lightning. His powerful physique protected him from being injured too seriously. However, Gui was firmly caught by Long Yu. His martial Dao realm dropped. Gui's expression changed greatly. This martial skill of Long Yu's could be considered a trump card. He really didn't have any information about this move, so he was caught off guard. Tiger King Roar. Gui circulated his profound chi, and the Tiger King true spirit behind him roared. It was another sound wave martial skill. The high-rank spirit level sound wave martial skill, Tiger King Roar, and Spirit Tiger King Fist were the 2 great martial skills of the Wang family. The Jintian clan also only had a few high-rank spirit-level martial skills. A high-rank spirit-level martial skill was the strongest martial skill a clan or sect could obtain. At this time, facing the incomparably strange dragon defense, Ancient Herb used both of his martial skills without holding anything back. Extreme explosion. There was no need for Long Yu to think at all. Facing the Tiger King's roar, which had a suppressive effect, the vague consciousness of the lunar wings had already taken the initiative to unleash the lunar chi. Long Yu was not affected at all. Awakening Samsara Palm. Long Yu used this move over and over again, but this move caused Gu Hebo to be tired of dealing with it. Any of his martial skills would be weakened by the awakening Samsara Palm before they could reach Long Yu. Adding on the fact that he was only in the 4th layer of the true spirit realm, he couldn't even injure Long Yu, let alone kill him. Long Yu had used heavenly lightning to refine his body for 3 months. During this time, he didn't drink a drop of water or eat anything. That kind of pain and hardship was something that even the strongest martial cultivators in this world couldn't endure. The feeling of dizziness and pain and dizziness, even if it was only for 2 or 3 days, was enough to drive a person crazy. However, Long Yu stubbornly persisted for as long as 2 to 3 months. After obtaining the Black Thunder Tyrant body, his tyrannical battle strength was displayed at this moment. He was able to completely suppress an expert at the 5th rank of the true spirit secret realm. One punch after another, the 9 Nether Samsara Chi spread out. The extreme force was released endlessly, causing Gu He's figure to be hindered. I can't hold on anymore. Yuanshan. Gu Herbert's expression changed drastically. He immediately shouted, but it was already too late. 9 Nether Explosive Flow. Long Yu punched the surface of the cold pond, and the 9 Nether Chi gathered under Gu He's feet. At the same time, an invisible yellow spring spirit had already bound him. With Gu He's cultivation that hadn't recovered to the 5th layer of the true spirit realm, it was impossible for him to escape from this attack. In an instant, the 9 Nether Chi pillar exploded and Gu He's miserable screams rang out, but they soon stopped. The 9 Nether Explosive Flow was still Long Yu's most powerful martial skill. Up until now, no one had been able to withstand it. Gu He dead. Killing intent flashed in Long Yu's eyes. He turned around and saw Wang Yuanshan chasing Lu Yuan. The 2 of their true spirit bodies were fighting. Wang Yuanshan's Tiger King True Spirit and Lu Yuan's Black Butterfly True Spirit were both releasing their powerful domain energies. It was all thanks to Lu Yuan's Phantom Domain that Wang Yuanshan had comprehended that she was able to hold on for so long. Gui's cries for help rang out, but Wang Yuanshan was too late to help. When the miserable screams rang out, Wang Yuanshan finally realized that their operation this time was going to fail. Gu He was dead. He was the steward of the Wang family for 3 generations and had managed the Wang family in an orderly manner. Many things were in Gu He's hands, but now that Gu He was dead, the Wang family's strength had dropped by a large margin. It was even possible that they would soon lose their title as one of the Great Tang Empire's 4 great families. One had to know that this title was being eyed by many families in the Great Tang Imperial City. The impact of Gu He's death on the Wang family was too great. However, the battle in the cold pond was not over yet. 10,000 slaughter. Long Yu's 9 nether dragon spear swept out, killing intent spreading through the entire cold pond. Under the terrifying suppression of the extreme Yin force, the remaining 8 Wang family true spirit guards could not display any of their strength. They had wanted to take the chance to escape. However, how could Long Yu let them escape? Since they were enemies, he had to catch them all in one fell swoop, not letting a single one escape. Die! The tip of Long Yu's spear slashed down, easily killing a 3rd-level True Spirit Realm True Spirit Guard without the slightest chance to retaliate. Kill him, he's almost exhausted. Wang Yuanshan's eyes nearly popped out of their sockets, nearly roaring out loud. The Tiger King True Spirit behind him roared and charged at Long Yu. His comprehension of the Tiger King roar was not even comparable to Gu He's. Adding on the fact that there was a distance of over 30 meters between him and Long Yu, it did not affect Long Yu at all. Kill! Long Yu roared, the extreme Yin wings on his back flapping, his body flashing like a stream of light, instantly killing another true spirit guard. Since you want to kill me and steal my treasure, then I'll fight back. Do you think I'm a soft persimmon? Too naive. Towards his enemies, Long Yu would not show any mercy. He swore to slaughter them to the last. However, at this moment, just as Wang Yuanshan had expected, Long Yu's profound qi was far from sufficient. Even if his profound qi recovery speed far surpassed normal martial cultivators, at this moment, maintaining the extreme Yin force for too long would cause the profound qi in his body to be almost depleted. Let's join forces. Lu Yuan's crisp voice sounded, followed by a pair of scarlet short swords that turned into sword shadows, attacking Wang Yuanshan's back. Wang Yuanshan never dreamed that Lu Yuan would dare to attack him. His eyes flashed fiercely as he turned around and roared with the Tiger King True Spirit, followed by a punch. Tiger King Fist Spirit. Chapter 188. Lu Yuan thought that the person Wang Yuanshan wanted to kill the most was Long Yu. She did not expect that when she sneaked up on him from behind, Wang Yuanshan would throw a punch at her. Spirit Tiger King Fist. The power of a high-grade spiritual level martial skill was finally unleashed. With this punch, the Tiger King domain enveloped the area, and the pressure of the master of the forest erupted. Die! Wang Yuanshan's eyes were bloodshot. The Spirit Tiger King Fist flew out and neared Lu Yuan's face like a meteor. Fight him! When Long Yu saw this scene, he immediately shouted. At the same time, he punched out with the awakening palm samsara power. The next moment, Wang Yuanshan's martial Dao realm fell into the samsara realm, falling to the 4th level of the True Spirit Secret Realm. The power of his Spirit Tiger King Fist was greatly reduced, and his aura stagnated. When Lu Yuan heard Long Yu shout, she immediately perked up. Let's fight! Lu Yuan released the Tai Yin charm and immediately clashed with Wang Yuanshan's Tiger King domain. No one could do anything to the other. In the next moment, the scarlet short sword in her hand slashed out 2 sword shadows and collided with Wang Yuanshan's punch. The terrifying explosion caused both of them to retreat more than 100 feet. However, Lu Yuan was not at a disadvantage in this exchange. Instead, she retreated 2 steps less than Wang Yuanshan. It was obvious that Wang Yuanshan, who had fallen to the 4th level of the True Spirit Secret Realm, was no match for Lu Yuan. Alluring dance. Lu Yuan did not stop and immediately used the high-grade spiritual level martial skill of the Alluring Pavilion, Alluring Dance. This was the trump card of the alluring pavilion disciples. Lu Yuan knew that although Wang Yuanshun was being suppressed by Long Yu, this suppression could only last for a short period of time. She had to defeat Wang Yuanshun as soon as possible. The alluring dance was activated. Lu Yuan's entire body spun along with the true spirit of the black butterfly. She turned into a dazzling stream of light that emitted a dazzling brilliance. The power of the law of phantom spread out from her body. Wang Yuanshun could not help but be attracted for a moment. It was too tempting. Lu Yuan, with her snow-white hair and frosty eyebrows, was as cold as ice. Her exquisite and delicate body under the black clothes was extremely captivating. And when Wang Yuanshun couldn't help but be attracted to it, it was almost time for him to die. Lu Yuan would never give him a chance. But at this moment, the profound energy in Long Yu's body had finally been completely exhausted, and he was no longer able to maintain the existence of the tie-in force. In the next instant, the remaining 6 Wang family true spirit guards all felt their bodies relax. The great momentum was gone. 10,000 slaughter. The 9 underworld dragon spear in Long Yu's hand swept out with killing intent, instantly killing another 3rd true spirit layer Wang family true spirit guard. There were only 5 true spirit guards left, and they were all at the 3rd level of the true spirit secret realm. At this moment, Long Yu had already killed Gu Hebo and 3 other true spirit guards, thoroughly scaring the remaining 5 true spirit guards out of their wits. Run. If we don't run now, we'll die. The same thought appeared in everyone's mind, and they actually abandoned Long Yu at the same time, turning around and fleeing out of the frigid pond ice valley. In reality, if they joined forces to deal with Long Yu might not be able to withstand their attacks now that he was exhausted. But these fellows valued their lives more, and they directly turned around and fled. Pooh! Pooh! As the remaining 5 true spirit guards fled, Wang Yuanshun, who had been tempted by Lu Yuan for a moment, was also decapitated by Lu Yuan's pair of scarlet short swords. I'll chase after them. Lu Yuan didn't even look at Wang Yuanshun as she stepped out of the frigid pond ice valley. But at this moment, Lu Yuan's brows were slightly furrowed because the 5 people were actually fleeing in different directions. With her speed, it seemed difficult to catch them all in one fell swoop. Go! Long Yu communicated with the consciousness of the lunar wings, and the lunar wings flew into the air. He actually brought Lu Yuan alone, and with extreme speed, he chased after one of the 5 people. As fast as lightning, Lu Yuan jumped in fright, but she quickly calmed her emotions. The scarlet short sword in her hand drew a sharp stream of light, and she instantly beheaded the first person. Immediately after, the lunar wings glided with Lu Yuan, and she quickly caught up to the second person after a few breaths. None of the remaining 5 people escaped. They all died under Lu Yuan's scarlet short sword, causing the red on the pair of short swords to shine even brighter. These people were all experts of the aristocratic Wang family. Since they came to kill them, they naturally couldn't let any of them go. Otherwise, they would suffer the revenge of the aristocratic Wang family. Although these people were already close to half of the Wang family's strength, the strongest person in the Wang family was the family head, who was also Wang Yuanshun's father, who had long reached the true spirit unity realm. It was not wise to provoke him now. Luckily, Long Yu and the lunar wings were compatible with Tianqi. Together with Lu Yuan's pair of short swords, they finally killed everyone. This way, no one would know that Wang Yuanshun and Gu Herbert were killed by them. Come to think of it, no one would think that Long Yu, and Lu Yuan had the ability to kill so many people. In reality, if not for Long Yu coincidentally comprehending the lunar force at this time, he might not have been able to escape, let alone kill all of them. Long Yu's Dantian pulsed, quickly recovering the profound energy in his body. At the same time, he and Lu Yuan piled the corpses of Gu Herbert, Wang Yuanshun, and the rest of the 19 people together, preparing to set them on fire. While dragging the corpses away, Long Yu secretly put a few battle weapons into the 9 hell space. Added together, They should be worth a few thousand crystal coins. Gu Herbert didn't carry anything valuable, which made Long Yu feel somewhat regretful. Wang Yuanshen, on the other hand, carried a soft armor battle weapon. Unfortunately, his throat had been slit by Lu Yuan. Even a spirit-level, high-grade soft armor battle weapon didn't have any defensive effect. Who asked him to be so indecisive, to actually be attracted by Lu Yuan's beauty? Serves him right. If it had been Long Yu, he definitely wouldn't have done so. Whether it was her figure or appearance, Lu Yuan was top-notch. However, if Long Yu were to fight with her, he definitely wouldn't be like Wang Yuanshen, who was seduced to death. At most, his mind would just tremble, just as the two of them were about to set fire to the pile of 11 corpses. The sky that had been gloomy since morning suddenly began to rain. This rain came extremely quickly. The fire that the two of them had just started was extinguished by the increasingly heavy rain. What accompanied it was the roar of thunder and lightning that tore through the sky, as if the entire sky had been split into several segments. Lu Yuan frowned slightly. How are they going to destroy all these corpses in such a heavy rain? These corpses definitely couldn't be left behind. Otherwise, it would be very easy for others to guess who did it. If that happened, it would be tragic. Leave it to me. Long Yu also felt that it was a little troublesome. If he couldn't burn them with fire, then he could only use the power of the Nightmare Thunder Charm to completely destroy them. The power of the Nightmare Thunder Law was definitely stronger than the power of ordinary flames. However, Long Yu had only comprehended the Nightmare Thunder Charm. It was still somewhat difficult for him to completely destroy the 11 corpses. Fortunately, his celestial chi recovered relatively quickly. Very soon, he had enough celestial chi to release the Nightmare Thunder Charm. Nightmare Thunder Destroy. Long Yu waved one hand, and a bolt of lightning flashed, bringing with it a destructive power that descended upon the corpses. Lu Yuan's eyes were bright. This was the first time she had the opportunity to carefully observe the power that Long Yu had comprehended. Very quickly, she discovered that this was a tyrannical power that was not inferior to the Law of Shadow. In fact, it was much more violent than the Law of Shadow. Another kind of power from the Divine Monument? Lu Yuan's eyes lit up. She could finally confirm that the rumors were true. That Long Yu had once entered the gobbling lightning pool. Just when everyone thought that he was dead, he had miraculously reappeared. The power that Long Yu was displaying now was probably the power that he had obtained from the gobbling lightning pool. Under the destructive power of the Nightmare Thunder Charm, the 11 corpses were completely destroyed. Not even ashes were left behind, as they were destroyed in the torrential rain. Amazing! Lu Yuan couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Now, she thoroughly understood Long Yu's strength. This guy was truly too terrifying, possessing 2 types of Heavenly Steel's law, a top-grade spirit-ranked martial skill, and a top-grade spirit-ranked combat weapon. He was actually able to kill an expert who was 2 levels higher than him. Long Yu turned around, and his gaze was fixed on Lu Yuan's graceful figure. For a moment, he couldn't tear his eyes away. Under the torrential rain, Lu Yuan's entire body was soaked. Strands of snow-white hair hung down her neck and stuck to her skin. This scene, to Long Yu, was even more alluring than when she had displayed her devastatingly beautiful dance. Let's quickly retrieve the Lunar Heaven Monument. Lu Yuan didn't notice Long Yu's gaze. She turned around and walked towards the Frigid Pond Ice Valley. The two of them went to battle immediately. The Lunar Heaven Monument was still in the Frigid Pond Ice Valley and hadn't been taken out. Long Yu was startled and immediately followed. Very quickly, a much smaller Lunar Heaven Monument was taken out from the bottom of the Frigid Pond by the two of them. It's become smaller. Long Yu frowned slightly. Actually, this wasn't the first time he had discovered this. Earlier, he had already sensed that his half of the Lunar Heaven Monument was gradually becoming smaller as he absorbed and comprehended it. However, it wasn't obvious. But now, after he comprehended the Lunar Major Force, the entire Lunar Heaven Monument had clearly shrunk a lot. I looked up some information. After a martial cultivator comprehended the power of the Heaven Monument, it would gradually become smaller. When the martial cultivator comprehended the Heaven Monument's laws, this Heaven Monument would completely disappear. Lu Yuan nodded and explained, "If the two of us comprehended this Heaven Monument at the same time, in the end, I'm afraid that neither of us would be able to comprehend the laws." Long Yu continued to frown. "What's the point of thinking so much? To comprehend the laws, one has to at least step into the unity of heaven and man realm. I won't think so much about such a distant matter." Lu Yuan smiled lightly. "We can't stay here for long. Let's leave first." Long Yu thought for a moment, then prepared to split the shrunken lunar heaven monument into two again. However, he quickly discovered that a difficult problem was in front of him. This lunar heaven monument had actually merged into one. There was no way to split it into two halves. Originally, the lunar heaven monument had automatically split into two halves, each landing in the hands of Long Yu and Lu Yuan. But now, Long Yu couldn't do it even if he wanted to split it into two halves. This was a huge problem. If it couldn't be split into two halves, who would this lunar heaven monument belong to? Chapter 189. Since they could not decide who the lunar heaven steel belonged to, the two decided to move together for now. They could not stay in the icy valley any longer. The two found a colder place in the mountains, a small cave to hide from the rain, and prepared to comprehend the lunar heaven steel. Of course, before this, the two caught 2 wild rabbits, which Long Yu roasted with the power of the lunar thunder to replenish the energy he had expended for the day. The two entered the small cave, soaking wet, and started to comprehend the lunar heaven steel. As the wind blew and lightning flashed, Long Yu felt that he could not make a breakthrough in his comprehension of the laws of Yin, so he went outside the cave, leaving Lu Yuan alone to comprehend the laws of Yin. So much heavenly lightning, Long Yu looked over. The mountains were filled with purple lightning, bolt after bolt streaking across the sky, causing the gloomy sky to flash with destructive light. Why not continue to use heavenly lightning to refine my body and try to comprehend the power of the lunar thunder? Long Yu's heart moved, and he immediately moved. The lunar wings on his back unfurled, and he glided through the rain, quickly arriving at the highest mountain nearby. This mountain almost reached the clouds. The lightning and thunder in the clouds were almost right in front of him. Lunar Thunder Charm. Long Yu activated the profound energy within his body, releasing the divine aura of the nightmare thunder. In an instant, all of the lightning and thunder in the vicinity of the mountain peak were attracted to Long Yu. Bolt after bolt of lightning came crashing towards his body. At this moment, although he did not have the 9 underworld dragon seal to absorb the power of the heavenly lightning, the power of these ordinary lightning was much weaker than the lunar thunder pool. With Long Yu's lunar thunder tyrant body, he could still block these heavenly lightning. There were only 2 or 3 days left until the martial discussion of the 7 sects, but Long Yu did not relax at all, striving to make a breakthrough in this last period. At the same time, in the Great Tang Imperial City, Lu family, Feng Chang'e and Lu Yu had finished talking. Because Long Yu would definitely go further in the future and would not stay by Feng Chang'e's side, Lu Yu reluctantly agreed to return to Jade Pass City with Feng Chang'e. However, both of them were worried about Feng Yao. They did not know where Feng Yao was right now. If Feng Yao had not sent a messenger pigeon to Lu Yu every once in a while, the two of them would have been extremely worried. Even so, the two of them were still extremely worried about Feng Yao. Feng Chang'e's cultivation had recovered, and he had broken through to the 6th true spirit realm. He could be considered an expert in the Great Tang Kingdom. In fact, he hadn't even used up all the energy he had accumulated over the past 20 years. As soon as Feng Chang'e returned to his residence, he started to rush towards the 7th level of the true spirit realm, the realm of one with the true spirit. If Feng Chang'e could reach that level, his strength would be comparable to the leader of the Jintian clan or the leaders of the 4 great clans. Unfortunately, the realm of one with the soul was definitely not that easy to achieve. Even with Feng Chang'e's 20 years of accumulation, there was still an extremely high threshold and bottleneck for him to achieve one with the soul. The martial competition of the seven sects was about to begin. Feng Chang'e had a bad premonition. It was very likely that the left duke, Chu Chaosheng, had arranged everything. Even if Long Yu defeated Yu Qining in the end, there would still be other problems. Chu Chaosheng had always been meticulous in his actions. Otherwise, he would not have been able to expel Long Zaiyan from the Great Tang Kingdom. It was too scary to fight against such an opponent. If I can step into the realm of one with the soul before the martial competition of the seven sects ends, it will be much easier. Feng Chang'e thought to himself, and worked even harder. At the same time, he thought of Long Yu and Lu Yuan. The two of them had left the Lu clan together, and he had no idea where they went. However, Feng Chang'e was not worried about them. How many dangers had Long Yu encountered along the way? He had even survived a dangerous place like the Heavenly Thunderbolt Pool and achieved the hegemonic Thunderbolt body. Feng Chang'e was not worried about Long Yu. Instead, he was interested in the relationship between Long Yu and Lu Yuan. It would not be bad if the two of them could become a couple. The corner of Feng Chang'e's mouth curled up. He was looking forward to it. Long Yu's temporary disappearance did not worry many people. Whether it was Feng Chang'e or the Jintian clan, they all had great confidence in Long Yu. However, the Wang clans Gu Hibo and Wang Yuanxin had not returned after they left, casting a shadow over the entire Wang clan. Whether it was Gu Hibo or Wang Yuanxin or the 9 true spirit guards that they had brought with them, they all seemed to have vanished in a thin air. No matter how they searched, they could not be found. The day before the martial competition of the seven sects, in the grand mansion of the Wang clan, the Wang clan's patriarch, Wang Ju, an expert of one with the soul realm. He was a middle-aged man dressed in a golden robe. His body was as sturdy as a mountain, and he exuded the aura of an expert. No one dared to approach him. Wang Ju's face was gloomy as he sat in the Wang clan's main hall, listening to the reports brought back by the Wang clan servants. Not found, still not found. It had been 2 days. The martial competition of the seven sects was about to begin, but Gu Hibo and Wang Yuanxun had disappeared with their men. Wang Ju knew that Gu Hibo and Wang Yuanxun had led a team to deal with Long Yu and Lu Yuan. However, how could there be any accidents when dealing with those two brats? What made Wang Ju somewhat relieved was that Long Yu and Lu Yuan had also disappeared. Otherwise, he would really suspect that Gu Hibo and his son, Wang Yuanxun, had been killed by Long Yu. After all, the news of Long Yu sending Long Ji flying at the Lu clan's entrance, causing Long Ji to be seriously injured, had already spread throughout the imperial city. Who didn't know that although Long Yu was only at the 3rd level of the true spirit realm, he already had the strength to fight against a 5th level true spirit realm expert. Just as Wang Ju was getting impatient, a scout suddenly ran in. Report: Long Yu and Lu Yuan have appeared. Where are they? Wang Ju furrowed his brows. This was not good news. However, if he could capture Long Yu, he might be able to find out the whereabouts of Gu Hibo and his son, Wang Yuanxun. Someone recognized them at the auction house of the Heavenly Trading House. The scout said respectfully, "The Lu clan's Heavenly Trading House." Wang Ju's expression changed. Before the martial competition of the seven sects, the Lu clan, who was the most successful in auctions, naturally had to hold an auction. As the patriarch of the Wang clan, he naturally did not want to go. However, now that Long Yu and Lu Yuan had appeared at the Heavenly Trading House, he had no choice but to personally make a trip. Wearing a golden robe, his figure stood up and left the Wang clan's mansion alone, heading towards the Heavenly Trading House. The patriarch of the Wang clan, Wang Ju, was respected wherever he went. Even if he was alone, no one dared to disrespect him. Even someone with a status like the imperial princess had to respect him. In the imperial city, the Heavenly Trading House, Long Yu and Lu Yuan finally rushed back just as the Lu clan's auction was about to begin. The good news was that Lu Yuan had also comprehended the Tai Yin general force during this time, and her overall strength had increased by a large level. As for Long Yu, He had finally tempered his body to become more domineering under the bombardment of the heavenly thunder. At the same time, the power of the law of annihilation thunder stored in the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds surged, allowing him to comprehend the law of annihilation thunder to the level of the power of heaven and earth. The Tyene general force, the power of annihilation thunder, and the heaven-suppressing territory were the powers of the law that Long Yu had comprehended. With these three combined, even an expert in the 5th LV true spirit realm would not be able to withstand it. In the entire Tang Empire, only he could simultaneously comprehend 2 types of the power of heaven and earth of the heavenly tablet law. As for the withering swamp law that he had comprehended from the mutated Ouroboros in the soaring snake abyss, Long Yu did not intend to comprehend it. Although the withering swamp law could entangle the movements of the opponent and had a good effect of catching them off guard, it was only good. After all, it was only a mysterious jade law. Without a corresponding true spirit, it could not display much power. Since he had the heavenly tablet, he naturally had to cultivate with the heavenly tablet law. In the heavenly business hall, the green-robed elder, Lu Fuji, appeared and personally welcomed Long Yu and Lu Yuan, which surprised Lu Yuan. Lu Fuji was an important figure in the Lu family, and his position in the Wang family was even higher than Gu He's. Now that he had personally welcomed Long Yu, it could be seen that Long Yu and the Lu family had a huge transaction. Otherwise, Lu Fuji would not treat a young man like this, especially when this young man was only in the 3rd LV true spirit realm. In fact, if it was not for Long Yu's talent, Lu Fuji would not have been so enthusiastic. However, since Long Yu was talented in the martial Dao, Lu Fuji was clear about the competition between the various forces in the imperial city. Naturally, he knew that Long Yu would not be killed so easily. Little brother Long, is there anything you want to buy in the heavenly business hall? Lu Fuji asked with a gentle expression. Yes, I want to buy some elixirs or demonic beast inner cores to increase my martial Dao realm. Long Yu said concisely. Then let's participate in the auction. Coincidentally, you also have something to auction, so we could take a look together. Lu Fuji said mysteriously. There will be something you want at the auction. As for what it is, you will know when the time comes. Still trying to be mysterious? Long Yu's lips curled up slightly as he nodded, not minding the other party's tricks. He and Lu Yuan came to the heavenly business hall with the intention of participating in the auction. Only at the auction would something truly good appear. It would not be easy for Long Yu to step in LV4 of the true spirit realm. It was definitely not something that could be done with a few spiritual level elixirs. However, it would be different if there were profound level elixirs or demonic beast inner cores. Long Yu had seen the profound level sky mending elixir. Although it was only a lower profound level elixir, the spiritual chi it contained was several times more than the Dragon Leap Golden Elixir. An item that was worth more than 100,000 crystal cores would definitely be very effective. This time, Long Yu participated in the Heavenly Business Hall's auction to see if there were any profound level elixirs. If there were, he would try his best to buy them. Let's go in. Long Yu called out to Lu Yuan, and the two of them walked to a VIP room in the Heavenly Business Hall. In this VIP room, no one would know who they were even if they were to bid for something. The auction was already bustling with noise. After sitting in the VIP room with a curtain separating them, Long Yu soon saw a few familiar figures at the entrance of the auction and could not help but narrow his eyes. Chapter 190. Feng Luo had taught Long Yu a lesson not long after he had stepped onto the path of martial arts. Feng Yang was originally an outer member of the Jintian clan, but he had been defeated by Long Yu, who had just joined the Jintian clan, causing him to lose face. As for Feng Lin, he was originally a member of the Feng family side branch. During the celebration banquet for Feng Yun becoming the family head, he had ambushed Long Yu, but was sent flying by Long Yu with one move, causing him to lose face. These three people had actually come to the imperial city after the coup of the Feng family and became the followers of a young man from a large family. Long Yu did not know who the well-dressed young man was, but he was certain that he was not from one of the 4 large families in the imperial city. He was probably from a small family like the Lu family. Feng Luo, Feng Yang, Feng Lin. The 3 of them have not made any progress. Their martial arts realm is almost stagnant. Long Yu looked at them and could not help but shake his head. These 3 people had nothing to do with him anymore, so he simply ignored them. The auction was about to begin. Long Yu could clearly sense that there were many powerful presences in the other VIP rooms, such as a middle-aged man in a golden robe who had entered not long ago. That was the head of the Wang family, Wang Ju. Sitting in the VIP room, Long Yu could feel Wang Ju's sharp gaze sweeping across the audience, as if he was looking for someone. However, Wang Ju was disappointed that he did not find target. Finally, he entered a VIP room and disappeared from Long Yu and Lu Yuan's sight. Is he looking for us? Lu Yuan could not help but ask softly as she watched Wang Ju's figure disappear. Probably, but even if he finds us, he can't do anything to us. Long Yu narrowed his eyes. At that time, if he insisted that he had never seen Wang Yuanxin and Gu Hebo, could Wang Ju still kill him? In the Lu family's territory, Wang Ju could not be so arrogant. The entire auction house could accommodate 600 to 700 people. When the auction house was full, the official auction began. In order to arouse the interest of the people participating in the auction, the first item that the Lu family took out was a rather attractive one. A spiritual level supreme long sword. This long sword was named the Star Sea Sword by the Lu family. It contained the power of the Star Sea heavenly steel, and it was of superior quality. Its power was unparalleled. The starting price was 8,000 crystal coins. The power of the Star Sea laws on this long sword was attached to the Star Sea leaf wheel, one of the 7 calamity stars. Therefore, it could not be absorbed or comprehended by martial cultivators, and could only be used. Therefore, its value was completely different from the meteorite that Long Yu had sold to the Lu clan. That meteorite was the origin of the meteorite law. Through that meteorite, one could comprehend the meteorite law. On the other hand, this longsword could only allow people to use a trace of the power of the Star Ocean's nomological laws, but there was no way to comprehend it. The appearance of a transcendent grade sword, which had been snatched from one of the 7 calamities, caused the crowd to go into an uproar, especially the disciples and elders of the sects who were about to participate in the martial arts competition of the 7 sects. All of them were excited. In one of the VIP rooms, 2 swordsmen, one old and one young, stood with swords on their backs. When they saw the Star Sea sword, their eyes lit up, showing their extreme desire. The 2 of them were from one of the 7 major sects, Elder Qiu Shusong and the number 1 core disciple, Qi Guang. Qi Guang, this long sword has extraordinary power. We must bid for it. Qiu Shusong's eyes were filled with desire. Originally, Qi Guang did not have the confidence to win the martial arts competition of the 7 sects. However, if he had this longsword, Qi Guang's strength would immediately rise to another level. The young swordsman Qi Guang nodded coldly. Then, he took the sword from his back and activated his celestial qi, directly shattering the sword. Qi Guang's martial arts realm of level 4 of the True Spirit Secret Realm gave Qi Guang extremely strong power. Shattering a spiritual level middle grade sword was a piece of cake. This also showed his determination to obtain the Star Sea Sword. 9,000 crystal coins. 10,000 crystal coins. 11,000 crystal coins. The Star Sea Sword was such a popular item, so the price quickly rose. The popularity even exceeded Long Yu's expectations. Originally, he thought that it would be good if the long sword could reach 20,000 crystal coins. However, not long after, the price had already exceeded 20,000 crystal coins and was still rising. Luckily, I was careful, otherwise I would have been tricked by Lu Fuji. Long Yu thought to himself, if it was as Lu Fuji had said, he would be given a base price of 8,000 crystal coins and split the excess 50-50. Wouldn't that mean that Long Yu had lost over 10,000 crystal coins? Fortunately, the final agreement was that they would split the price of the auction into 90%. Long Yu would get 90% and Trading World would get 10%. This way, Long Yu would earn a lot more. Finally, when the price reached 20,000 crystal coins, there were only 3 parties left competing. Without a doubt, these 3 parties were all people sitting in the VIP rooms. Other than those who were treated as VIP by Lu Fuji, who else could afford such a high price? 22,000 crystal coins. Qi Guang of the Rain, Sword Sect bid calmly. However, the person in the VIP room opposite him made another bid without hesitation. 25,000 crystal coins. 3 crystal cores. Qi Guang directly increased the price with crystal cores. If the other party wanted to increase the price again, they would definitely be embarrassed if they did not add a crystal core. 4 crystal cores. On the other side, someone continued to bid, causing Qi Guang's face to darken. For crystal cores, 40,000 crystal coins. This price was enough to buy 2 ordinary Supreme Spirit rank combat weapons. But now, it was all concentrated on a single Star Sea sword. Without a doubt, everyone knew the power of the Star Sea sword. If the power of the Star Sea Heavenly Steel could be unleashed, who could resist it? 5 crystal cores. Since Qi Guang had already made up his mind, he would not hesitate, even if he had to go bankrupt. This Star Sea sword would be a powerful combat weapon that would accompany him for many years. When the price was raised to 5 crystal cores, there was finally no one else bidding. This price shocked most of the people in the auction hall. 5 crystal cores, 50,000 crystal coins. What a huge amount of wealth. As expected, only in the Imperial City's auction would someone be so rich and overbearing. Feng Luo, Feng Yang, and Feng Lin, who were following a young man in luxurious clothes, started whispering. I wonder who is so rich to actually spend 50,000 crystal coins to buy a spirit-level combat weapon. If it were me, I would rather buy 2 ordinary combat weapons than this long sword. Yeah, what a prodigal. However, I wonder who sold this long sword. Isn't this a huge profit? The Lu family's Trading World has also made a huge profit, earning 4 to 5,000 crystal coins in one go. I have never seen so many crystal coins in my life. The 3 of them were discussing, not knowing that the long sword was taken out by Long Yu to be auctioned. If they knew this news, they would definitely be so shocked that they would not even be able to speak. The young man in luxurious clothes, who was following the 3 of them, could not help but snort when he heard the 3 of them talking. It's just 4 to 5,000 crystal coins. It's nothing to Trading World. This is just the first auction item. There will definitely be more items later. The price will definitely be higher. Young Master Ji is right. The 3 of them smiled flatteringly and started to flatter the young man in luxurious clothes. Long Yu sat in the VIP room, watching the 3 of them fawning over him. He felt that it was really embarrassing for him to know these 3 people. If these people were to stay in the Feng family, they would definitely be malignant tumors. Fortunately, he had helped Feng Chang'e to get rid of these vermin. The current Xinfeng family was thriving with each passing day. It was a completely different scene from before. Under Feng Chang'e's leadership, even if the new Feng family came to the Imperial City, they would still have a foothold, much stronger than the Lu family. One could imagine that when that time came, Feng Yang and Feng Luo would definitely regret it. When Feng Chang'e's cultivation recovered, the new Feng family was destined to rise. The auction continued. Now, Long Yu's total wealth was close to 14 core crystals. If there was something he wanted, it would basically be impossible for it to be snatched away by others. Lu Yuan sat beside Long Yu. She was also quite interested in this auction. She rarely came to this kind of event. Although she didn't want to buy anything, just looking around was good, and she could understand the prices of many things. Most of the items in the auction this time were combat weapons that could rapidly increase a martial cultivator's strength. In comparison, there were fewer elixirs and demonic beast cores. This was because these things needed to be absorbed for cultivation, and their growth was slower. For ordinary people, a few elixirs were not enough to make a qualitative change in their strength. It was better to use their limited funds to buy the combat weapons they needed. This was not bad for Long Yu, because if there were any high-grade elixirs, there wouldn't be so many people fighting with him for them. However, after more than 20 items, Long Yu still didn't see what he wanted. Not a single elixir or demonic beast core appeared. Next, we will bring out a heavyweight treasure in this auction. Everyone, please take a look. In the middle of the auction, the auctioneer smiled as she held an exquisite jade box in her hands. She slowly opened the box, and what appeared in front of everyone was a dragon-shaped grass vine. This is the Sky Heart Dragon Grass, a dark-level herb. If it is refined into elixirs, it is very likely to become a dark-level elixir. Its effects are self-evident, and it can even directly raise one martial realm. The auctioneer introduced as she enjoyed the fiery gazes of the crowd. Sky Heart Dragon Grass, a dark-level herb. In the Tang Kingdom, dark-level treasures were extremely rare. Be it dark-level elixirs or dark-level combat weapons, if they appeared, it would definitely have a significant impact on the situation of the Tang Kingdom. For example, the chaotic enhancement pill that Feng Chang'e had consumed had allowed him to recover his cultivation and allowed the Tang Kingdom to have an expert that was at least at LV6 true spirit realm. And now, another stalk of Sky Heart Dragon Grass appeared. This herb doesn't have much effect when consumed directly, but if it is refined into elixirs, it would be amazing. Long Yu's eyes lit up. Coincidentally, the Jintian clan had an alchemist, Old Bai. If he could obtain this Sky Heart Dragon Grass, wouldn't he be able to obtain a dark-level elixir? Chapter 191. Long Yu did not know how to refine pills, but luckily Elderbai was here. He could ask Elderbai about it after winning the bid for the Sky Heart Dragon Grass. The moment the Sky Heart Dragon Grass appeared, the crowd became rowdy. Most of the people here had never seen a mysterious rank treasure in their lives. Even if it wasn't a finished pill or a mysterious rank combat weapon, just a mysterious rank herb was enough to make their eyes widen. Sky Heart Dragon Grass. The starting bid is 5 cores. Each increment must be at least 1 core. Let the bidding begin. The young lady smiled as she looked at the lively crowd and announced the start of the auction. 5 cores, 6 cores, 10 cores. As the price rose rapidly, Long Yu noticed that the bid came from the VIP room of the Wang clan, Wang Ju. 11 cores. Long Yu calmly increased the bid. He did not move just now, because he knew that the final price of the Sky Heart Dragon Grass was definitely more than 10 cores. The Wang clan's master was a little surprised and exclaimed softly, as if he did not expect someone to increase the bid. The true value of the Sky Heart Dragon Grass was around 15 crystal nuclei. However, this value could only be displayed in the hands of a sufficiently strong pill master. Because of this, although the Sky Heart Dragon Grass was a mysterious rank treasure, not many people bid for it. If the pill refinement failed, such an expensive treasure would be completely wasted. 12 cores. Wang Ju thought for a moment and continued to increase the bid. 13 cores. Long Yu's lips curled, and he increased the bid without hesitation. Such a decisive bid caused Wang Ju to hesitate. He did not know who the person in Long Yu's VIP room was. Could it be a powerful alchemist? Only a confident alchemist would be willing to bid for the Sky Heart Dragon Grass at such a high price. I give up. Wang Ju shook his head. Although the Sky Heart Dragon Grass had not reached its original value, he did not want to increase the bid any further, because the risk involved was simply too great. At the same time, Wang Ju was confused. Didn't someone say that Long Yu and Lu Yuan were seen at the auction? Now that he was here, how could he not be able to find him? Could it be that Long Yu and Lu Yuan were in the same VIP room as him? The business world was the territory of the aristocratic Lu clan. Even a king would not dare to act recklessly, and it was impossible for him to find out who the people in the other VIP rooms were. Wang Ju didn't wait for the auction to end. He gave up on competing for the Sky Heart Dragon Grass and left the trading world. He had to go back to the Wang family and deploy troops to surround the surroundings of Trading World, not giving Long Yu and Lu Yuan any chance to escape. In order to find out the whereabouts of Gu Hibo and Wang Yuanshun, Wang Ju could only do this. He had originally thought that he could easily find Long Yu and Lu Yuan. Who would have thought that he would not be able to find them? After a while, as long as Long Yu was still in Trading World, it would be impossible for him to escape. Long Yu did not know that Wang Ju had left. However, he knew in his heart that it was about time to leave. He brought Lu Yuan with him and left through the back door of the VIP room. They went to the backstage of the auction house and found Lu Fuji alone. As for Lu Yuan, she waited outside. "Senior Lu, I would like to leave first." Long Yu said to Lu Fuji, "Take this Sky Heart Dragon Grass. There are a total of 13 crystal cores." Lu Fuji squinted his eyes, looking like a profiteer. "Here are 8 crystal cores, and the Star Sea Sword was sold for 50,000 crystal coins, of which 45,000 crystal coins belong to me, right?" Long Yu asked with a smile. "That's right, but I'm still short of 5,000 crystal coins." Lu Fuji did not intend to let Long Yu take advantage of him, and he refused to budge. This soft armor, spirit level upper grade, along with these combat weapons, is worth 5,000 crystal coins? Long Yu was calm as he took out the soft armor combat weapon he had obtained from Wang Yuanshun, as well as some spirit level middle grade combat weapons from the other Wang family true spirit guards. The value of these combat weapons added together was probably more than 5,000 crystal coins. After all, soft armor combat weapons, like longsword combat weapons, were extremely popular types of combat weapons. Their value was much higher than ordinary combat weapons of the same level. "This is Wang Yuanshun's thorny soft armor?" Lu Fuji's eyelids twitched when he saw the soft armor. He recognized it at a glance, and his heart trembled. It seemed that Long Yu had killed Wang Yuanshun, and perhaps even Gu Hibo was not spared. No wonder the Wang family patriarch, Wang Ju, had such a gloomy expression just now. Of course, Lu Fuji would not tell Wang Ju about this. He laughed and said, "That's enough. This is the Sky Heart Dragon Grass. Take it." With that, he took away Wang Yuanshun's thorny soft armor and handed the exquisite jade box containing the Sky Heart Dragon Grass to Long Yu. Lu Fuji dared to take away this soft armor and Luo Zixing spirit level supreme whip because their business was not limited to the Great Tang Empire. It was not convenient for these items to appear in the Great Tang Empire, but they could be transported outside the Great Tang Empire to exchange for other combat weapons of the same level with martial practitioners from other countries or the pugilistic world. As time went by, the Lu family was able to earn the difference in price. With such a huge amount of assets, it was only natural that the Lu family could become one of the 4 great families of the Great Tang Empire. Which of the 4 great families of the Great Tang Empire was the wealthiest? The answer was undoubtedly the Lu family. Although the other 3 families also had their own businesses, compared to the Lu family's trading world, there was still a huge gap between them. After obtaining the Sky Heart Dragon Grass, Long Yu bade farewell to Lu Fuji and left through the back door of the trading world with Lu Yuan. Lu Yuan did not ask where Long Yu had gotten so much money to bid for the Sky Heart Dragon Grass. Although she was puzzled, she was not the kind of person who liked to pry into other people's secrets. "Come with me to the mountain residence?" Long Yu asked. "Yes." Lu Yuan hesitated slightly before nodding in agreement. It was not that she really wanted to be with Long Yu, but that the lunar heaven steel was still in Long Yu's hands, and she was not at ease leaving alone. Besides, she was very clear that she and Long Yu were both key figures that the head of the Wang family, Wang Ju, was looking for. It would not be appropriate for her to return to the Lu family alone, and she did not want to return to the Qingqing Pavilion either, so she could only follow Long Yu for the time being. Not long after the two of them left, Wang Ju came with his men and surrounded the trading world. He interrogated anyone who came in and out, asking if they had seen the whereabouts of Long Yu and Lu Yuan. Such behavior, of course, caused some conflict between Wang Ju and Lu Fuji. As for this, it had nothing to do with Long Yu. At the mountain residence, When Long Yu returned with Lu Yuan, he quickly attracted the attention of the many disciples of the Jintian clan, especially Liao Lele and Fengyu Xian. Seeing that Lu Yuan had returned with Long Yu, Liao Lele's eyes quickly revealed hostility. "Brother Long, this is—" Fengyu Xian was slightly better. She only felt gratitude and admiration for Long Yu. She did not admire him like Liao Lele. Qingcheng Pavilion's core disciple, Lu Yuan. Long Yu introduced Lu Yuan to the crowd. "Aha, the Imperial City's talented lady, Lu Yuan. I have long heard of your name." Bufang laughed heartily. He sized up Lu Yuan and Long Yu and felt that the two of them were quite compatible. If they could get together, it would be a wonderful thing. This must be Senior Brother Bu, right? Lu Yuan almost called his name out of habit, but fortunately, she changed it. Otherwise, Bufang would have flown into a rage. It was taboo for Bufang to call his name. That's right. Long Yu nodded, letting Lu Yuan know that she had guessed correctly. "Junior Brother Long Yu, I'm going out tonight. You can have my room." Bufang smiled maliciously. When Long Yu heard that, he knew that this guy must have guessed wrongly. He probably thought that he had some kind of relationship with Lu Yuan. "Thank you, Senior Brother Bu." Long Yu did not reject Bufang. Sharing a room with Lu Yuan was better than sharing a room with Bufang. However, this caused the surrounding heaven-suppressing sect disciples to have quite a bit of misunderstanding. "Oh yes, where's Elder Bai?" Long Yu turned his attention to Fengyu Xian and Liao Lele. "He's in the room." "What's the matter, Brother Long?" Fengyu Xian's eyes lit up as she answered. "I obtained an herb, and I'd like Elder Bai to help me refine it into an elixir." Long Yu said, "Follow me." Fengyu Xian nodded, turned around, and brought Long Yu to find Elder Bai. At first, she thought that Long Yu had obtained an ordinary herb and wanted to refine some ordinary elixir. However, when she and Liao Lele brought Long Yu and Lu Yuan to Elder Bai, she finally found out that Long Yu had obtained a sky-hard dragon herb. Not only Fengyu Xian and Liao Lele, but even Elder Bai was shocked by Long Yu. "Little Long, this is a black-grade herb. Are you sure you want me to refine it into an elixir?" Elder Bai was stunned. Even he had not come into contact with a black-grade herb before. As for using the sky-hard dragon herb to refine elixir, he had no confidence at all. "Of course, other than Elder Bai, I don't know any other alchemists." Long Yu asked with a smile, "What do you think, Elder Bai? Do you know how to refine a black-grade elixir?" A black-grade elixir would definitely allow Long Yu to step into the fourth stage of the true spirit realm and solidify his true spirit. "I know how to do it, but I've never tried it before." Elder Bai thought for a moment and said, "Fortunately, this sky-hard dragon herb has a mild effect, so it's not difficult to refine it." "So you're saying that it's possible?" Long Yu revealed a look of joy. "It's hard to say. After all, I haven't tried it before. Plus, I can't refine a black-grade elixir by myself. I'll need the help of the four of you." Elder Bai looked at the four of them seriously and said, "A black-grade elixir requires too much qi. With my cultivation, I won't be able to handle it. Plus, there are too many details that I can't handle on my own." In other words, he needed Liao Lele and Fengyu Xian to handle the details, while Long Yu and Lu Yuan would be responsible for providing him with enough qi. "Is one night enough?" Long Yu asked. "If everything goes well, it should be enough. The key is to prepare some supplementary materials, which are not cheap. Plus, I didn't bring any elixir refining tools with me." Elder Bai had a troubled look. "Is one crystallized core enough?" Long Yu took out the last crystallized core and asked. Chapter 192. Alchemy required a high level of control over the celestial qi of an alchemist, and most importantly, it required a heart of loyalty. Only those who possessed a heart of loyalty could refine all kinds of herbs into pills. The reason why Old Bai accepted Liao Lele and Fengyu Xian as his disciples was because they possessed a heart of loyalty, which was something that ordinary martial cultivators did not possess. There was only 1 in 10,000 people who possessed a heart of loyalty, and it was even rarer to have a decent talent in martial Dao while possessing a heart of loyalty. The grade of the pills that an alchemist could refine would not exceed their martial Tao realm by too much. For example, an alchemist in the 9th rank of the martial Tao could at most refine spiritual grade pills. It was impossible for him to refine profound grade pills. Furthermore, the greater the difference between the grade of the pill and one's martial Tao realm, the lower the chances of success. Right now, Old Bai was only in the 4th rank of the true spirit realm, so it was undoubtedly very difficult for him to refine profound grade pills. His success rate was less than 10%. However, with the help of Long Yu, Lu Yuan, Liao Lele, and Feng Yu Xian, the success rate should be above 30%. A high-quality alchemy furnace could increase the success rate, and the alchemist's own proficiency could also increase the success rate by a lot. Old Bai's experience and knowledge in alchemy were undoubtedly extremely rich. In addition, the sky hard dragon grass was a profound grade herb that was relatively easy to handle. This time, the success rate of refining profound grade pills was as high as 50%. Everyone split up and quickly used the crystal core from Long Yu to purchase enough alchemy materials. Although the alchemy furnace was not the best, it was not the worst either. After all, 10,000 crystal coins was a large sum of money, so buying an alchemy furnace did not require too much. In addition, there were other supplementary herbs used to neutralize and stimulate the medicinal properties of the sky hard dragon grass. All in all, they spent more than 7,000 crystal coins, leaving less than 3,000 crystal coins for Long Yu. 3,000 crystal coins was considered a small amount to Long Yu, but in the eyes of ordinary martial cultivators, it was a very good amount. After all, it was enough to buy a high-grade spiritual weapon or even a transcendent-grade spiritual weapon. After the preparations were completed, everyone began to refine pills. Only through the elixir core can an alchemist see the medicinal properties that are drifting about in a medicinal herb, and then decompose and neutralize these medicinal properties. Old Bai explained to Long Yu and Lu Yuan, who had never come into contact with alchemy before, this process consumes a lot of profound energy. During the alchemy, little Liao, little Feng, and I will need you to transfer your profound energy to us. Elder Bai, I'll help you. Lu Yuan, you help Liao Lele and Feng Yu Xian. Long Yu said. Lu Yuan nodded. Although she wouldn't have a share of the pills that were refined, it was still extremely good for her to be able to use this opportunity to come into contact with refining pills. Moreover, it was refining profound grade pills. As for Liao Lele, although he was wary and hostile towards Lu Yuan, in order to refine pills for Long Yu, he would, of course, give it his all without holding back. Since time was tight, the 5 of them immediately began to refine pills. With a wave of his hand, Elder Bai released a domain of the law of fire, and flames rose under the alchemy furnace. This was the law of fire that Elder Bai had always used for alchemy, the law of spiritual fire. It was impossible to use ordinary flames to refine pills. Only those who understood the law of heaven and earth related to fire could use it to refine pills. Long Yu looked at the rising flames under the alchemy furnace and could feel the temperature. It was several times higher than ordinary flames. Now let's separate the medicinal properties. Elder Bai chuckled and said, "It's a pity that the medicinal properties of this herb can only be seen by those who possess a loyal heart. Long Yu, Lu Yuan, you probably won't be able to see it. You can just watch from the side during this process." The 2 of them nodded. Lu Yuan looked at the sky heart dragon grass in Elder Bai's hand and really couldn't see anything special about it. However, Long Yu felt the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds quietly heat up. Then, in his eyes, a layer of hazy white mist appeared on the sky heart dragon grass. Under Elder Bai's control, this layer of hazy white mist began to divide into hundreds of parts. This was the process of separating the medicinal properties. Could this hazy mist be the medicinal properties of the herb? Long Yu's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately observed quietly. He didn't have the loyal heart that Elder Bai mentioned, but through the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds, he could actually see the medicinal properties. He had to keep this matter a secret and not tell anyone. Otherwise, he would be in big trouble. After all, the dragon seal of the 9 underworlds was too mysterious. If others knew about it, who knew how many people would come looking for trouble with him? Following Elder Bai's actions, the hazy white mist finally divided into thousands of parts and fell into the alchemy furnace. The sky heart dragon grass, whose medicinal properties had been completely separated, withered. In the end, it became like a withered grass and was placed aside by Elder Bai. The medicinal properties of the sky heart dragon grass had been completely separated, so it was no longer useful. The thousands of separated white mist's medicinal properties were roasted in the alchemy furnace by the spiritual fire. The medicinal properties of these supplementary herbs have to be completely separated. Elder Bai handed dozens of supplementary herbs to Liao Lele and Fingyu Xian respectively. The two ladies immediately began to separate the medicinal properties of these supplementary herbs and sent them into the alchemy furnace in a certain order. In Long Yu's eyes, the medicinal properties of these supplementary herbs were of different colors. There were blue, green, black, and red. Each of them had different properties and could be used to harmonize the medicinal properties. Elder Bai was very experienced and naturally knew how to harmonize the medicinal properties to produce the best elixir. After following Elder Bai, Liao Lele and Fingyu Xian had learned the most about the separation of medicinal properties and herbs. Only by separating the two could the medicinal properties be separated from the impurities and condense into elixirs in the alchemy furnace. When the three of them were separating the medicinal properties, Long Yu and Lu Yuan could not stay idle. The Xian Qi in their bodies was quickly depleted. Then, Long Yu and Lu Yuan had to transfer their Xian Qi to the three of them. Long Yu pressed his palms on Elder Bai's back. The Xian Qi in his body was transferred into his body through all the meridians in his body so that he could continue. As for Lu Yuan, she pressed her left and right hands on the backs of Liao Lele and Fingyu Xian respectively, transferring Xian Qi to the two ladies. Dantian pulsate. Long Yu felt the Xian Qi in his body depleting quickly. He immediately urged his Dantian to pulsate, speeding up the recovery of his Xian Qi. After Elder Bai, Liao Lele, and Fingyu Xian finished separating the medicinal properties, they needed to use the elixir core to control and neutralize the countless medicinal properties in the alchemy furnace. This was the most important part of the process. If this part was not done well, it was very likely that all the previous efforts would be wasted. Even if it was not done perfectly, the final quality of the elixir would definitely not be up to expectations. Although Long Yu could see the medicinal properties, as well as how the three of them neutralized and fused the medicinal properties, he really did not know the principles behind it without anyone's guidance. If there's a chance, I should learn alchemy. It might come in handy in the future. Long Yu thought to himself, but now is not the time. Even if he thought with his knees, he knew that alchemy was a very profound knowledge that relied heavily on accumulation. It was not something that could be learned in a short period of time. He would not be able to learn it before the end of the martial arts seminar. Time passed by as the five of them busied themselves. Half a night passed in a hurry. When it was close to midnight, an intoxicating medicinal fragrance wafted from the room where the five of them were practicing alchemy. The medicinal properties of the sky heart dragon grass and other supplementary herbs had finally settled down and started to condense into elixirs. Forming elixirs was another knowledge. Unfortunately, Long Yu could not ask too much for fear that he would disturb Elder Bai's train of thought. Open the furnace. As Elder Bai shouted softly, the alchemy furnace was opened by him, and then a spiritual pill actually sprang out of the alchemy furnace. Catch it. Elder Bai moved and immediately leaped up, wanting to catch it in his hands. However, the white elixir flashed and actually escaped from Elder Bai's pursuit. How can an elixir fly away? Long Yu was stunned for a moment, but he immediately reacted. He extended the lunar wings on his back and exploded with terrifying speed. However, the elixir's speed was even faster than Long Yu's. It actually slipped away from Long Yu's hands several times. A black-grade elixir is indeed extraordinary. Elder Bai's eyes were filled with satisfaction. This elixir would not be able to escape no matter what. Judging from its speed, it was definitely a black-grade elixir. Even though it was the lowest grade black-grade elixir, it was still a black-grade elixir. Elder Bai had never tried refining a black-grade elixir before. He did not expect that he would succeed on his first try with his 2 female disciples. The entire alchemy room was sealed. No matter how fast the elixir was, it would not be able to escape. Under the encirclement of everyone, it finally fell into Long Yu's hands. That feeling was even more difficult than an ordinary person catching a fly with their bare hands. Skyheart Dragon Pill. Long Yu held the white elixir in his hand, and his eyes glowed. It was indeed a black-grade elixir. Feeling the pure medicinal energy within it, Long Yu felt that if he consumed it, he could really attempt to break through to the 4th layer of the true spirit realm and condense his true spirit. It's done. Old White smiled gratifyingly as he looked towards Long Yu. Originally, there were a few times when I thought that the pill concoction was going to fail because the profound energy in my body was simply unable to continue. But Long Yu, the profound energy in your body is too abundant. In the past half of the night, it actually grew endlessly. This is the effect of refining the body. Long Yu smiled slightly and did not say anything else. He changed the topic. Thank you, Elder Bai. Thank you, Lele, Yusin, and Lu Yuan. Thank you all for your hard work. You're welcome. The 7-sect martial symposium will begin tomorrow. Everyone, hurry up and disperse. There's still half a night left. Have a good rest. Elder Bai waved his hand and sent everyone away. Liao Lele and Yusin returned to their respective rooms. Before they left, they looked at Long Yu and Lu Yuan suspiciously. Would the 2 of them really go back to sleep in the same room? Let's go. Long Yu nodded at Lu Yuan and returned to his room. The 2 of them really left together. However, Liao Lele and Yusin were wrong. Long Yu and Lu Yuan left together because they wanted to comprehend and cultivate together. Lu Yuan continued to comprehend the lunar heavenly tablet. Chapter 193. Condensing the true spirit into a physical form was a huge bottleneck for every martial cultivator. If the difficulty of condensing the true spirit and stepping into the true spirit realm was 1, then the difficulty of condensing the true spirit into a physical form was 10. Only 1/10 of the martial cultivators who stepped into the true spirit realm were able to condense the true spirit into a physical form, which showed how difficult it was. If one did not have great talent, great perseverance, or great luck, it was impossible to step into the 4th layer of the true spirit realm. Long Yu had the 9 underworld dragon seal, so he was confident in his talent. As for perseverance, if Long Yu admitted that he could not do it, who else could? There was also luck. Long Yu always felt that his luck was not bad. With these 3 conditions added together, it was much easier for Long Yu to step into the 4th layer of the true spirit realm than normal martial cultivators. The Skyheart Dragon Pill, a profound grade pill. The spiritual chi contained within is more than 10 times more than the Golden Leap Dragon Pill. Long Yu held the Skyheart Dragon Pill in his hand. This pill was faster than him the moment it appeared. It wanted to fly away, which showed how intelligent it was. After he was ready, he swallowed the Skyheart Dragon Pill in 1 gulp. He could feel the medicinal energy spreading throughout his body. His body absorbed 30% of the heaven and earth spiritual chi, while the rest was absorbed and stored by the 9 underworld dragon seal. Long Yu's efficiency in absorbing the pill was 3 to 5 times that of normal martial cultivators. Consuming 1 Skyheart Dragon Pill was equivalent to consuming 3 to 5 low-grade profound grade pills for normal martial cultivators. Because of this, he was confident that he could attempt to break through to the 4th layer of the true spirit realm tonight. With the 9 underworld's dragon seal, he would be able to completely utilize the medicinal energy within any elixir he absorbed without any wastage. Not long after, Long Yu used the dense spiritual qi to refine his heaven veins to a new level. In the true spirit realm, the most important thing for martial cultivators was to cultivate the heaven veins and merge them with the heaven and earth. However, this process was extremely long. Long Yu had only just refined his heaven veins to the fourth layer of the true spirit secret realm. If his cultivation realm did not increase, it would be difficult for him to refine his heaven veins any further. Immediately after, he used the Heavenly Heart Dragon Pill's medicinal power and spiritual energy to condense the Sun True Spirit and the Dragon of the Nine Underworld's True Spirit in his body. At the third level of the True Spirit Secret Realm, the dual True Spirit's body was about to leave the shadow and was only a step away from solidifying. This step was the most crucial step to enter the fourth layer of the True Spirit Secret Realm, and it was extremely difficult. Heaven-suppressing sun, condense. Long Yu began to condense the heaven-suppressing Sunday. As long as he could condense the heaven-suppressing sun into a corporeal form, he could finally release his true spirit to fight against others. Otherwise, once the Sun True Spirit's phantom appeared, it would be completely destroyed by other true spirits. If I have the Lunar True Spirit and the Nightmare Thunder True Spirit, my battle strength will rise by more than a level. However, it will be too difficult for me to raise my cultivation level. I don't need to think about it for now. As Long Yu thought to himself, he gave up on the idea of condensing the Lunar True Spirit and the Nightmare Thunder True Spirit. Right now, the most important thing was to raise his cultivation level. As he allowed the Heavenly Heart Dragon Pill's medicinal power to wrap around the heaven-suppressing Sun True Spirit, the heaven-suppressing Sun True Spirit condensed at an extremely fast speed. Its shape became clearer and clearer, and the originally hazy part of the heaven-suppressing Sun True Spirit was quickly filled. The heaven-suppressing sun was, after all, a Yellowstone-level law, true spirit, so it was relatively easy to condense. The sun-suppressing sun's true spirit had condensed into a corporeal form. Long Yu did not encounter any difficulties and condensed the sun-suppressing sun's true spirit into a corporeal form. At this time, the 30% of the Heavenly Heart Dragon Pill's spiritual energy that he had absorbed was finally exhausted. Next, he could only use the spiritual energy stored in the Nine Underworld's Dragon Seal to condense the Nine Underworld's Dragon True Spirit. This difficulty was many times greater than condensing the heaven-suppressing sun's true spirit. The higher the quality of the true spirit, the more difficult it was to raise one's cultivation level. The Nine Underworld's Dragon True Spirit was a law true spirit of a higher level than the Heavenly Steel's law. The law of the Nine Underworlds was the world's strongest law. Because of this, the Nine Underworlds Dragon True Spirit's corporeal form was not that easy to condense. Bottleneck. There's actually a bottleneck. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. Just as he was condensing the Nine Underworld's Dragon True Spirit, he felt a resistance that was preventing him from condensing it into a corporeal form. This resistance was obviously because Long Yu did not have any comprehension of the Nine Underworld's laws. Although he possessed the Nine Underworld's Dragon Seal, cultivated the Nine Underworld's Dragon Fist, and had condensed the Nine Underworld's Dragon True Spirit in his body, the truth was that he had yet to comprehend the Nine Underworld's laws. He had not even comprehended the concept. Originally, Long Yu did not want to comprehend the so-called strongest Nine Underworld's laws because he was afraid that there would be repercussions. After all, this thing was too mysterious. But now, it seemed that if he did not comprehend the Nine Underworld's laws, he would not be able to step into the fourth level of the true spirit realm. What should I do? Long Yu frowned. This situation was forcing him to comprehend the Nine Underworld's laws. This was not something that could be achieved in a short period of time. In other words, there was still a barrier between him and the fourth level of the true spirit realm. He was stuck at a bottleneck. As the sky brightened, the Jintian clan's disciples and elders all got up and gathered. Long Yu and Lu Yuan were no exception. The two of them appeared together and instantly attracted the attention of many people. The two of them had slept in the same room last night, and this news had spread everywhere. This made Long Yu feel slightly awkward. But when he looked at Lu Yuan, she had a calm expression, as if this had nothing to do with her. This calm attitude made Long Yu feel ashamed of his inferiority. Today is the opening day of the Seven Sect martial competition. The Great Tang's left prince will be hosting it. Bai Yunzong stood at the front of the group and said indifferently, "The specific rules of the Seven Sect martial competition will also be announced today. The entire Seven Sect martial competition will last for nearly a month. I hope that everyone will be able to find their shortcomings in the competition and continue to improve." Left Prince Chu Chaosheng. Long Yu's heart trembled. Was this guy going to appear today? He didn't know what cultivation this left Prince Chu Chaosheng had to be able to injure Bai Yunzong. And not only that, today was the first day of the Seven Sect martial competition. The left Prince Chu Chaosheng would announce the specific rules of the Seven Sect martial competition, so all the people from the Seven Sects would be present. Whether it was the sect leader, elders, or disciples, not a single one of them would be absent. The place they were heading to was called the Imperial Martial Field. This was the place where the Imperial Guards of the Great Tang Imperial family usually trained. Normally, unrelated people were forbidden to enter. Only during the martial competition of the Seven Sects would it be opened as the venue. Speaking of which, the golden-armored youth, Long Su, was the captain of one of the Imperial Guards. This team was dedicated to protecting a princess of the Imperial family and was called the Princess's Guard. Long Su was the captain of the Princess's Guard. Long Ji had been sent flying by the Nine Nether Dragon Fist, and the Nine Nether Chi had entered his body. The Long family would probably be very vexed, right? Long Yu thought to himself as the corners of his mouth curled up. Right now, the Long family would definitely want to kill him even more. Unfortunately, the Great Tang Empire was not under their control yet. The battle for power in the upper echelons had given Long Yu enough time to catch his breath, and also gave him more time to grow. But who knew what the left prince, Chu Chaosheng, would do? All of this would be revealed very soon. Everyone followed the white cloud and headed towards the Imperial Army Martial Field. Along the way, they passed through the streets of the Imperial City, attracting the attention of countless people. Who didn't know that today was the day the Seven Sect martial competition would officially begin? Unfortunately, for the Seven Sect martial competition, ordinary martial cultivators did not even have the qualifications to watch. Only the disciples of the truly powerful families, or the powerful martial cultivators who had stepped into the true spirit secret realm, had the qualifications to enter the Imperial Army Martial Field and watch the battles. One had to know that in the Great Tang Imperial City, the number of martial cultivators who had condensed their true spirits was less than 1%, and the rest were lingering around the body-tempering secret realm. But even so, the spectator stands of the Imperial Army Dojo would still be filled with people. There was no other reason. The Seven Sect martial competition was definitely a major event in the Great Tang Empire. Not to mention, this Seven Sect martial competition would also decide the fate of the Seven Sections. The agreement that the left prince, Chu Chaosheng, made with the sects was already known to everyone. If they lost, they would hand over the mental cultivation techniques of their respective sections. If they won, they would take away the mental cultivation techniques of the Thousand Thread sect. This also fully proved that the overall strength of the Thousand Thread sect would be very strong in this Seven Sect martial competition. The Imperial Army Martial Field was located on the west side of the Great Tang Imperial City, and it took up a large area. Not long after, the White Cloud led over 70 people from the Jintian clan to the Imperial Army Martial Field. At the entrance of the Imperial Army Martial Field, the crowd raised their heads and saw another group of sects that had also just arrived. The Rainsword Sect, a group of over 60 people, all dressed in white robes, either had swords hanging from their waists or carried long swords on their backs. They were all disciples of the Rainsword Sect who practiced swordsmanship. The person leading the group was a middle-aged man with a very long beard, and his face was filled with arrogance. The people of the Rainsword sect have always been arrogant, and a large part of the reason is because of their sect master, Hua Yanshi. Seeing this, Bai Yunzong lowered his voice and said to the crowd. The middle-aged man with an extremely long beard was the sect master of the Rainsword sect, Hua Yanshi. Behind Hua Yanshi was a young swordsman in his 20s. The long sword on his back fell into Long Yu's eyes, causing him to narrow his eyes. Star Sea Sword. This supreme spiritual level long sword had indeed fallen into the hands of the Rainsword sect, and it was an expert at the 4th level of the true spirit secret realm. Their number 1 core disciple, Qi Guang, seems to have bought the long sword on his back at the auction yesterday. It's a supreme spiritual level sword. Bai Yunzong continued. Little Boo, if you meet him, you must be careful. Yes, master. Bubu nodded his head seriously and looked at the arrogant young man with the long sword on his back, Qi Guang. All the disciples of the Rainsword sect were indeed arrogant, and when they saw the Jintian clan coming, they all revealed looks of disdain. This made the Jintian clan quite unhappy, but the Rainsword sect had always been like this, and there was no need to lower themselves to their level. Chapter 194. From the looks of it, the Rainsword sect would not work together to deal with the Thousand Thread sect. Other than that, the Fire Secret Palace and the Broken Saber sect would probably not cooperate with each other. Even if they did, it would be a sham. In other words, only the Overwhelming Beauty Pavilion and the Ice sect could cooperate with each other. The people from the Rainsword sect stepped into the Imperial Military Dojo, and then Bai Yunzong also stepped in with the people from the Sky Suppressing sect. At the entrance of the Imperial Dojo, 2 rows of Imperial Army martial cultivators in black armor stood like wooden pillars. All of them had solemn expressions, and their martial Dao realms had reached LV4 of the true spirit secret realm. These Imperial Army martial cultivators in black armor belonged to the Royal Chu family and were called the Black Armor Army. They were extremely loyal and were the strongest force that the Royal Chu family had on the surface. Of course, the Royal Chu family definitely had a stronger force in the dark. This was not something that ordinary people would know. Even the Long family of the General Clan did not know the Royal Chu family's trump card. When they passed the Imperial Dojo guarded by the Black Armor Army, everyone felt a murderous aura enveloping them, making it hard for them to breathe. These Black Armor Army guards not only had high martial Dao realms, but they had also killed countless enemies for the Royal Chu family. Naturally, they emitted a murderous aura. Impressive. Long Yu followed White Cloud and stepped into the Imperial Dojo. The Black Armor Army did not move at all, as if they were standing still. Although Long Yu had killed Gu Hibo and Wang Yuanshun not long ago, and they were both LV5 True Spirit Secret Realm experts, Gu Hibo and Wang Yuanshun could not compare to the close cooperation of 2 Black Armor Army members. Long Yu estimated that if he were to face 2 Black Armor Army members at the same time, he would not be able to fight back at all. For the Black Armor Army members who worked together, 1 + 1 was more than 2. Suddenly, a loud shout came from the front. Jintian clan, stop! Following this shout, a bald man dressed in a fiery red robe with a flame pattern engraved on it led a large group of red-robed martial cultivators to block White Cloud's path. Seeing this, Long Yu knew that the people from Hidden Fire Palace were here to cause trouble. Long Yu had killed Huofu and a 3rd-layer True Spirit Secret Realm Elder from the Hidden Fire Hall, so of course he would be targeted by the Hidden Fire Hall. Right now, the other party's target was definitely him, Long Yu. Flame Sea Mountain, what can I do for you? Bai Yunzong was not afraid of him at all. He stroked his mustache and said calmly, as the Fire Repository Hall Master, it doesn't seem right for you to block the path of the Jintian clan, right? What's wrong with it? The bald man in the fiery red robe, who was also the Hidden Fire Palace's palace master, Hua Haishan, let out a fiery snort. He swept his gaze across everyone from the heaven-suppressing sect, and finally, his gaze stopped on Long Yu. Hand over that kid, and I'll cooperate with your Jintian clan. Otherwise, Even if I have to hand over the fire concealment spell to Chu Chaosheng, I will not stand on the side of your Jintian clan. Hua Haishan threatened impatiently. It really is Long Yu. In the sky-suppressing sect, many people were startled and glanced at Long Yu. Long Yu had killed Hua Haishan's son, Hua Fu. This news had already spread far and wide. Naturally, Hua Haishan would not be able to take this lying down. Wanting to avenge his son was also normal. You're thinking too much. Long Yu is a member of my Jintian clan. If you want to take revenge on him, you'll have to go through me first. Bai Yunzong's expression was cold, and he was not afraid of Hua Haishan at all. What a joke. With Long Yu's current strength, he was the only one who could fight against Yu Qianing of the Thousand Thread sect. If something were to happen to Long Yu, even if he had the cooperation of the Hidden Fire Palace, what use would it be? According to the rules of the Seven-Sect martial competition, it would be extremely difficult to stand out in the Seven-Sect martial competition without the strongest martial artist. Even if he didn't cooperate with the Hidden Fire Palace, he had to protect Long Yu. Bai Yunzong, are you really going to go against the Hidden Fire Palace for a junior? The bald man, Hua Haishan, snorted coldly and asked, Hua Haishan, is there something wrong with your brain? Bai Yunzong found it funny. Your son has been looking for trouble time and time again. He wanted to kill Long Yu, but he was killed by Long Yu. Now you want to take revenge for him? If you knew this would happen, you should have taught your son well and not cause trouble outside. These words made Hua Haishan extremely angry. He glared at Bai Yunzong and wanted to say something, but he couldn't say anything in the end. Protect him as much as you want. When the Seven-Sect martial competition starts, you'll regret it, Hua Haishan said, turned around and left with his men. Long Yu had just entered the Imperial Army's dojo, and he had already clashed with the people from the Hidden Fire Palace. He didn't know what the rules of the Seven-Sect martial competition were. How much impact would Long Yu have on the entire battle? He would soon know the rules of the Seven-Sect martial competition. Long Yu didn't ask much. He followed Bai Yunzong and quickly arrived at the 7 spectator stands near the Imperial Army dojo. He found a seat and sat with Bai Yunzong. At this moment, Lu Yuan, who had been with Long Yu, didn't sit with the Jintian clan. Instead, she stood up and went to another spectator's stand nearby, returning to the Qingqing Pavilion. In the direction of the Qingqing Pavilion, all the participants were beautiful women. Even the elders who led the teams were relatively young. They became the highlight of the Imperial Army dojo. Long Yu noticed that after Lu Yuan returned, she only greeted a woman in red. The woman in red seemed to be the pavilion master of the Qingqing Pavilion. As for the others, many of them looked at Lu Yuan with disdain and hatred. In particular, there was a young girl in white. Long Yu noticed that the young girl seemed to hate Lu Yuan very much. It was as if they could not live under the same sky. Bai Lin Sha, LV4 of the True Spirit Secret Realm. She was originally the top core disciple of the Qingqing Pavilion, but now she has been surpassed by Lu Yuan. Bai Yunzong looked in the direction of the Qingqing Pavilion and said with a faint smile, as such, Bai Lin Sha naturally hates Lu Yuan. Long Yu nodded when he heard this. He roughly understood the situation. Then, he looked around and quickly observed the situation of the entire Imperial Army dojo. In the center of the Imperial Army dojo was a large fighting ring. There were 16 large spectator stand around it, 7 of which were arranged for the 7 sections. The other 9 seats were for the nobles in the Great Tang Imperial City or the martial cultivators who had entered the True Spirit Secret Realm. For example, the 4 aristocratic families each occupied a fighting ring and brought their disciples to watch the battles. Long Yu keenly sensed a murderous aura coming from a fighting ring not far away, shooting straight at him. Aristocratic Wang family, Wang Ju. Long Yu looked over and saw a middle-aged man in a golden robe glaring at him from the spectator stands of the Wang family. Do you think I killed Wang Yuanxin? Long Yu laughed coldly in his heart. Even if Wang Ju guessed it, he wouldn't be able to find any evidence, let alone kill him at this time. One had to know that the sect leader of the Jintian clan, Bai Yunzong, was present. If he wanted to kill Long Yu, he would have to fight Bai Yunzong. Even if Wang Ju could defeat Bai Yunzong, he couldn't do anything now because the martial competition of the 7 sects was about to begin. Even if Wang Ju was the patriarch of the Wang family, he wouldn't dare to blow things up at this time. He could only find another opportunity to avenge his son in the future. When the Jintian clan, including Long Yu, stepped into the Imperial Army dojo, the entire Imperial Army dojo was filled with a hostile atmosphere. Most of the hostility was directed at Long Yu. For example, on the other side, in the spectator area of the Broken Blade sect, the sect master of the Broken Blade sect, Chu Shanwu, was sneering as he stared in the direction of the heaven-suppressing sect, sweeping his gaze over Long Yu, Zhong Bai, and the others. Elder Wu Li of the Broken Blade sect had been killed by Yunzong in the Jintian clan. Although they couldn't avenge him openly, the martial competition of the seven sects was an opportunity. Apart from that, there are also the aristocratic Luo family and Yuqi family. The young masters of the two clans, Luo Zixing and Yuqi Tao, had all been taught a lesson by Long Yu. Yuqi Tao didn't suffer much from Long Yu's hands, but Luo Zixing had been whipped in the face by Long Yu, causing him to lose a lot of face. The Yuqi clan and the Luo clan both had a grudge against Long Yu. If the Jintian clan or Long Yu were to encounter any mishaps, these two clans would definitely hit them while they were down. Long Yu's gaze shifted again, and the people from the Thousand Thread sect fell into his eyes. Yu Qianing, wearing a light yellow robe, stood proudly on the Thousand Thread sect spectator stand. From the aura emitted from her body, she had indeed reached the fifth layer of the true spirit realm. The fifth layer of the true spirit realm should be about the same strength as Long Ji, but Yu Qianing is definitely stronger than Long Ji. Long Yu thought to himself. At this moment, Yu Qianing looked at Long Yu with a trace of contempt in her eyes, as if she didn't care about Long Yu at all. Beside Yu Qianing sat a dignified and elegant woman who looked similar to Yu Qianing. She should be Yu Qianing's mother, Yu Ruyan. Yu Ruyan used to love Long Zaiqian, but due to a freak combination of factors, she gave birth to Yu Qianing with Chu Chaosheng. From then on, Chu Chaosheng used her to direct the martial competition of the Seven Clan. Perhaps Yu Ruyan had already forgotten about Long Zaiqian, but when the news of Long Yu spread, Yu Ruyan's mood became extremely bad. At this moment, Yu Ruyan's expression was extremely cold. The news that Long Yu had killed Hua Qing, Hua Yun, and Hua Buxi had naturally spread back to the Ice Sect, but the Ice Sect didn't seem to care too much about it. On the contrary, the sect master of the Ice Sect, Tang Qin, greeted by Yun with a smile when he led the crowd into the arena. Tang Qin was a woman in blue clothes, and she looked to be in her 30s. However, she was the sect master of the Ice Sect, and her martial arts realm was almost the same as Bai Yun's. Both of them had gone to the Thousand Thread sect together to demand an explanation, but they were both injured by Chu Chaosheng at the same time. This caused Tang Qin and Bai Yun to resonate with each other. In this martial competition of the Seven Clan, the Jintian clan and the Ice sect could be said to have formed an alliance. And these two sects were the only ones who had formed an alliance to deal with the Thousand Thread sect together. The other sects didn't give Bai Yun any face at all. In other words, they were blinded by hatred. When Long Yu's gaze swept across the arena, there was a sudden uproar. Then, many people said that the left prince was here. Chu Chaosheng, you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.